Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to episode number 24 of Reptiles and Cocktails. I just said episode 24. I can't believe it. We have a very special guest here today. You guys know who he is, and we're going to be loaded with some information for you guys today. I'm very excited to have Antoine from High Desert Pythons here. Definitely an awesome guy in the community. Has been very, very instrumental in my knowledge and where I'm at in my breeding plans. You can call him for anything and he'll respond. So we really appreciate people like that in the hobby. So we're going to definitely enjoy this today. I'm going to bring him on after we do like a little couple shout outs. The big shout out for me today is from no other than my buddy, Bosa Balls. So there's two cards in here. I'm not going to read them, but I just want to share the stickers. So he sent some stickers. And for those of you who know, I am doing a cancer walk. It's the fourth cancer walk that I would be doing for a 60-mile cancer walk for Susan G. Komen. But my second one in San Diego in California, and that will be in November. And Bosa sent these to me as well. My sister, as I mentioned before, is a breast cancer survivor. And I will be sharing these with her as well. So Pam, if you guys are looking, listening, I know she's probably working out right now, but somehow she can do both. If you're looking, or Shar, let Pam know she got some really cool Bosa Ball stickers coming to her as well. Next, tonight at 6 p.m., I believe, I'll be on Big Tank Hank Show. So if those of you who can tune in, please tune into that. And in addition to that, Bosa, I'm saving this for the walk. This is going to be one of the shirts that I wear during the walk. I love this shirt. So shout out to Bosa Balls. Appreciate you so much. So with that being said, I also wanted to remind everybody I'm on that run for that 1,000 subscriber mark. I am going to have an amazing giveaway, and I'm just going to give you some ideas of what it's going to be. So depending on how soon I get there, it's either going to be a flight to Daytona, or it's going to be a flight to the Bigger Pockets conference in the first weekend in October. So depending, I'll officially announce which one it is, because the timing of the Bigger Pockets one is the one that I'm not so sure of, if it will be too late for you to register if you're interested. So there you have it. But Daytona is in August. So if I get to 1,000 subscribers before, I will enter. I will make that announcement. Everybody will get a chance to comment. Everyone who comments on my Instagram, whatever you want to say, thank you. We appreciate you. Whatever the case may be, welcome to the hobby, whatever it is. Every person who comments will be entered to win a flight to Daytona, as long as you're flying in the United States. Okay, that's the only stipulation. Outside of that, let's get started. Bring on our man. There he is.
Yo, what's happening? Man, we need to get you these 1,000 subs quick, because these airline tickets, man, are getting crazy. So
they are insane, and that's what I'm saying. So it's a real nice giveaway, but I wanted my giveaway to be something that someone can take good advantage of. So, and if the timing is right, you can choose Daytona or Bigger Pockets. For one, I'm going to be excited to go to the Bigger Pockets. And actually, Antoine, I was told to ask very specifically from Aussie this morning, will you be going to the Bigger Pockets?
Still deciding. I'll know probably by the weekend too. So, but
I'll let them know.
But Daytona, I'm definitely going. So
yeah. I think well, we're definitely going as well. We'll definitely be in Daytona.
Yeah, my schedule is so crazy. Between like the MMA thing and then reptile stuff. Like this was like my it's like my only free weekend for like the next month and a half, I think.
I remember you was like, let's pick a date. Yeah, I'll get back to you.
Yeah, so like I got fights like next weekend and the following weekend, and then the Pomona weekend I got fights and Pomona. So I wasn't gonna go to Pomona at all, but I'm gonna go up to my fights in Central California that Saturday, and then drive back to LA area on on Sunday just to come to the show, man. You know, like I think if you're from California, if you're like close to the area and you're like what they call a name in the industry, you should at least try to show up. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I mean that's not a dig to some of my other California breeders who don't show up to these shows. It's like, yes, it is. It's definitely a dig to my California breeders who don't show up for the show.
Well, California and Florida has, other than Tinley, of course, but have some of the best shows. Like I said, I'm in Maryland. Pennsylvania has some smaller shows, but as far as in comparison to the Tinley experience, and I'm just, look, anything in Florida for me, where it's beach and water, it's going to already be a rocket show. And for those of you who sat in the Tinley auction at Antoine's table, I've already put in the plug. We need our table again, because that table was lit.
Yeah, I always somehow I always weasel my way into getting me a US art table and stuff, So no, it's not really weasel my way. I walk up to them and go, "Hey, put my name on the list." They were like, "All right, that's it." And people like, yeah. So I mean, I do enough for them throughout the year. I donate money like crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I put a lot of my sales towards US art too. So they're always cool with me, like hooking up a table and started paying like 10 grand up front for some table and stuff too.
Yeah.
So that's why I always try to like make sure I bid and try to win something every show, so.
Yeah, I mean, I would tell you that was an awesome experience, and I made some lifelong connections right there at that table. So I appreciate the invite to me and my husband to be able to sit at that table. So what I'm going to do, guys, because I want Antoine to get into all the information he's going to share with us, I'm going to shout out the top 10 people right now. So the first one I see is Mac O'More. Welcome.
Patrick, what up, big dog?
Jeremy, Brassman Reptiles. My baby.
What's up?
Hey,
what's up, Jeremy?
Fred. Hey, Fred from FNA Balls. And Rescue Replicated Reptiles. That's definitely someone new to me. And unless I know you by your real name, I appreciate you coming through. Thank you for being here and supporting. My other Jeremy from Waffles Morphs. Welcome, Jeremy. Jeremy hosted a banging cookout. We had such a good time a couple weeks ago. Thank you. Big D, my Blue Ghost baby daddy. Hi, Big D. Let's see. Bosa himself, you're here. Hey, Bosa, ¿cómo estás?
Aaron, what's happening?
Wills, hey, Wills. I actually just left your boy house. I went to pick up one of my babies.
Yo, Will's super dope, man. Shout out to Will, man.
It's very supportive.
Yeah, for real.
Very, very supportive. Hey, Gator Pool, thank you for being here. And Sea of Serpents, thank you, Stan. Thank you for always being one of my number one supporters. I appreciate that. That's right, Spicy. Smash that like button in my Esteban voice. Smash that like button in my Esteban voice. Thank you for being here and my family. I'm gonna end on this one. Keys.
What up, dude? Isn't he like at the Orlando show right now too, or something?
He's somewhere. Yeah, I believe he's in Orlando.
Yeah, so, Terrence and Keisha like multitasking right now. So
exactly, my family, T and Keys are definitely a blessing to this community as well. So thank you so much. Yeah. So Antoine, shoot, I want you to start off first. Before we go into what I really need to, I got notes for because we want to talk about that quarantine thing we was talking about briefly. Let's get the information and share your experience of the Anaheim show, which was his very first show, right?
Yeah, very first show that I vended. So now it's been this year is the 10th anniversary of me like professionally breeding, like actually for profit. I got some hidden G1 combos for you this year. People not let me live that down, but we'll get to that later too. I mean, I don't dislike the snake. I just hate the name.
You hate the name. It's like I don't even want to say it.
It's like a bad strain of weed to me. It's just like you got that hidden G1, my son. So 10 years into it, and the past maybe 2 seasons, I used to like talk crap and like, oh, I never need to vent to vend the show, whatever. I do enough sales on YouTube and Instagram, whatever, which is still true. But I think to kind of get myself out there in the trade show community more and to kind of show my support. I was at a table with Josh from Ball Python Shed, Kendall Thornton, Troy from Best Dressed Balls, and then part of my display, I had stuff with Jacob from Civil Servants and Andrew from Redwood Reptiles too, right? So we all had a big section. The first thing I realized that what I didn't ask about early is what type of crowd was going to be there. You know, to me, that's the first thing I wanted to look at from now on. Whenever I've been to the show, is this going to be the casual owner, hobbyist, first time buyer crowd? Because you need to bring different things. If this is that type of crowd,
bring the heat.
The main question I got throughout the whole weekend was, do you have any pies? Do you have any blue-eyed Lucy's? Do you have any bananas?
And that's those are
that's the ball python trifecta right there. So if you want to have those in your racks too, those are some good things to have. So and I didn't have any of those on the table at all. But the banana stuff up there were like banana, like triple head puzzle, this and that too. So it was like in the $3,000 range. So nobody wasn't really checking for those. It was like, man, why does banana cost so much? What does head mean? And all that stuff too. So one, you need to like know your audience. So so there's a difference between like the San Diego and Anaheim shows and the Pomona, which is one of the big shows too. You know, so that's one of the major things to see what it's geared towards.
Okay.
And then two, because everything animal related right now, our supply chain is so trash, get all your stuff months ahead of time. You know what I mean? So like if you see a show, like if you think, look at the calendar, look at the NRBC website, the Reptile Super Show website, and see what shows are coming up 2, 3, 4 months down the line. Because if you want some things like your displays, your banners, and you want like some high-end stuff, you want to do it way ahead of time. You know what I mean? So
usual suspects. Antoine didn't laugh at me when I told him I had 3 incubators and no eggs.
Pretty right. So yeah, so getting your equipment early, and figure out where the hardest thing for me was like I asked a lot of people who've vended before a lot of questions, but they kind of like just circumvented the question. It was just so weird to me. Like it's like they just fell upon all this equipment and didn't really know where to buy it from. That's what it felt like to me when I was asking these questions. I'm like, so where did you get your displays from? Oh yeah, man. The one guy had them at this show. He was like, here, you want the displays? I was like, all right, okay, but where do you? So I'm like, where do you buy them from? And people didn't say Next Level, ARS, or acrylic displays. So those are probably the top 3 displays that I saw at the shows too. So, so Next Level, they have like probably the highest tier displays. They come with the LED lights inside of it, and they have like their center display has a thermostat in it where you could attach heat and sources to other sides. So it actually comes with heat as well and a thermostat. Okay. And I think, but those cases, I think for a case of 3, run about like $3,000. Then ARS, they have some really good displays too. And then acrylic displays. I don't know if they have a website or not, but if you go on Facebook and just type in acrylic displays, they'll come up and they always have like, hey, we'll have X amount of equipment at this show. You can meet us there. Or sometimes they have like flash sales where you can be like, okay, we'll do 3 cases for $400 ship, and then you can go on there and buy it right now too. So so for a good starter set, I would go with like acrylic displays, and if ARS decide to start making them some more, you know what I mean, get on there. Jeremy, I know, brother. What's funny about that is I actually have a Hidden Gene woman in my collection.
But you don't call her a Hidden Gene woman. What you
No, because it's some other stuff too, like it's like soul sucker thing, spot note. I don't know, man. I'm just gonna stick a multi-gene clown to her and just call it a day, you know, and see what happens. So also too, figure out where to make your display area look professional. You know what I mean? So like there's a lot of people there at the shows who just use all like the default red and black drapes in the back, didn't have their business name up there, had deli cups sitting up there too, whatever, and didn't really put much effort into the display part of it. But you got to think about it from your point of view as well. When you go to a reptile show, you like to go to the table that grabs you. You know what I'm saying? Unless you know the person like specifically. When you walking around a reptile show, when you see like the real big setups and stuff like that, like when you go to like to DD's table or Justice table, they have like the big banners and backdrops too. That's going to catch your eye more. So think about, like what would you want as a consumer to do things like that. So and then your avenues to get your gear. Like, do you want to get your table runner from Vistaprint or like local printing companies too, and kind of figure out how you want to set your stuff up. As far as like, being eye catching and being nice and professional, because most times how meticulous you are with your displays, how you set your things up, like that's kind of a reflection on how you are with everything else as a breeder too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who spend tons of time and effort on their displays that when you go to their reptile facility, it's a shitty facility. You know what I'm saying?
Or spend $3,000 on a display.
Right. It doesn't at all, right? So I mean, to me, like if you cutting corners on stuff like that, where else are you cutting corners at?
Right. Actually, someone mentioned that the other day on a podcast. Like if they look at your table and the table doesn't look professional, they won't even buy anything from you.
Yeah, and then like in like a lot of Facebook forums, like people that disagree with stuff like that. That's absolutely ridiculous too. But yeah, it could be ridiculous to you, but because you might be, the exception to the rule, or you're complaining because hit dogs holler. You know what I mean? So, right. So what I did before I went, I did a dry run like in my garage. Like I set my entire displays up how it would be for the show in my garage, just to make sure I had the correct table length. You know what I mean? So I called the show and figured out that they have 8-foot tables or whatever they have too, and made sure that all my stuff fit the way I wanted to. So when it's time to set up, I'm not like, oh man, I'm out of table. I'm out of space and things like that. So definitely do a dry run. Know how to set your lighting up. Know how everything goes. Know where your keys are, and keep a checklist too. Like I'm a checklist king. Like I'd rather just have I got like bullet points and shit, and I'm checklist out. So with your inventory, what stuff you want to price stuff at. The biggest hiccup I had last weekend was I packed everything the night before, and yeah, I'm gonna put a little bit of blame on my son because he helped like pack the snakes up too, and he didn't tighten up the bags all the way. But I didn't go back and check them, so we had like 5 snakes escape the next morning when it was time to go to the show. So I lift up the box, they pushed through the styrofoam insulation, got out. So I still have 2 snakes running around the house somewhere.
Wow.
So he stayed behind. And the night I got back, I found one of the snakes, like the cheapest one, the $200 snake. I found one. Well, what up, Dre? Ooh, excuse me. So I found one of those, and then I found the Lemon Blast double het girl. So now I'm missing like 2 400-gram snakes, like a triple het Xanthic clown pie female and an asphalt triple het girl is still running around the house somewhere. So I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We need to find the asphalt triple head girl.
I'm telling you, man. We need to do stuff like that too. And then for your gear, make sure you have like a dolly with you or some kind of box with wheels on it. Because me trying to be the Hulk and dragging boxes all the way across the very back end of the venue was not the business, man. So definitely, be prepared with that, with like a dolly or like a box of wheels on it too. Okay. And when you decide to vent to, make sure you try to pick a prime location, or you actually dispute the location you get put in, because I honestly think, like I said, it's not an excuse because I think I did well on sales, but I think if I was like towards the middle or closer to the back of the venue, like I would have done a little bit better in sales, because we're the very first stand in the middle you walk in. As soon as you walk in the door, you saw our displays. So the biggest thing I got when I didn't get a sale was, okay, I like this right here, but let me keep looking, because that's the first, you know what I mean? And then so by the time you go around, you might see the same thing for like maybe $100 cheaper or something like that too. Or, you just got distracted and then you didn't want to go back over here and you had this thing in front of you. So you said, boom, I'm gonna buy that. So my biggest gripe was probably the location of how that was. So but yeah, just being prepared ahead of time for stuff like that, man. It was just the some of the takeaways I had from this show. and I think the next one, I do a lot better. And also, too, one more thing, since it was a local show, I didn't go the night before. I showed up the morning of,
Okay.
and that bit me in the butt too because of the animals missing. I was an hour late to leave the house, and by the time I got there, like I was done setting up like 5 minutes before the doors opened, which I don't like.
Wow. Yeah, that's
You know what I
pretty
mean?
rough. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. So now I'm like overwhelmed and I'm going back and forth, and I got a shitty attitude because I just drove 3 hours, and so I'm not. So people are like, man, it's not the Antoine I normally know. I'm like, yeah, I could have bad days too, motherfucker. Like, I can have. Your boy struggles sometimes too. You know, I'm thinking about my animals missing in the house, and I'm pissed at everybody for no reason. So it was just the day started off crappy, but then as things got rolling, though, you know what I mean. I kind of went back into focusing on what the task was ahead. So, and yeah, it was nuts, man. And then if anybody has any questions about anything like as far as like getting displays and table runners and things like that, too, just
Join
message
the
me.
Patreon and he'll answer
Yep,
them.
yep, for real. All right, because
There's failure Patreons.
I'm
Okay.
posting all the links on Patreon tonight. So so everybody have that, and yeah, man, it just I had a good time though, like a really, really good time. A lot of vendors, a lot of my friends did really well. I got to see some Brian Cusco was there. It was always good seeing him. People drove from Kansas, Iowa, Florida. It was just
See,
yeah,
I
so
think too, one of the things is that when you mention about the audience, and we was kind of talking about the difference, what I feel like the PA
mhm,
experience was for me compared to Tinley. Like Tinley was the PA this is the person who want to purchase a pet.
right,
Tinley was, okay, here's the breeder snake, and not just the breeder snake, the breeder snake.
exactly.
And it was a
Yeah.
total different experience. And I think that knowing your audience is, like you said, that will make a big difference, because clearly, I'm not going to say that, I go to both, depending on what I'm going
Mhm,
for, but I don't buy from the PA. I might get supplies. But
right.
in Tinley, I had my eye on everything I wanted to have shipped.
Yeah, so like right after COVID, San Diego had a reptile show. It was the smallest thing I've ever been to. Like the wait in line was longer to get in there too. But I knew what I was getting into at that show. So I just went there to say hey to people, take pictures with a lot of I hate saying fans because they're not really fans, they're peers. so but
You'd be
just like
surprised.
taking pictures and doing shout outs to people. So that's why I went to just show my face there. And I had no intention of buying anything there. But when I go to Tinley and stuff like that, I have a list. I have a priority list of what I need to get, and I'm not deviating from that list. You know what I mean? So I say, hi, yeah, good to see you, yada, yada, yada. I got to buy some stuff. So, and I don't even, and with me, when I go to shows, I don't even like to haggle with prices, none of that stuff either. So like something like even if it's like above market value, to me, when I'm looking for a project, I'm not really necessarily looking at the price first. Like I go through my collection, I think about what I need to do. I have an animal of mine. Okay, if I go, okay, I really need an asphalt clown male. I always use that one for an example because
Right.
when I got to Tinley, there was one on the table for 3K, and I didn't even look at the price first. I saw asphalt clown male, and I was like, Levance, give me that one. I like cut a line. I'm like, shut up, man.
That's a good question.
How does everyone mitigate mites at shows? I don't even handle people snakes when I go to shows because I'm nervous about bringing them into my collection. So I keep hand sanitizer there, but for the most part, if people is really really genuine about handling the snake, I let them. You know what I mean? But as far as like thinking about buying it, I let them take it out. They can pop the snake if they want to, and if they see them experience and make sure the animal is dehydrated and stuff like. I let them do the overall health check too, but I make sure everyone, at least at the very, very least, like sanitizes their hands before they touch stuff. And when they come back home, I don't just stick them right back in my collection either. I treat everybody as if I just got a new snake in the house. So when they first get in here, everybody goes on paper towels. Everybody gets hit with like reptile spray, lets it dry off a little bit. I let them soak in like soap, like a little bit of dishwater to see if anything floats around on it. And I just kind of go from there too. And then whenever I do my nido testing rounds, I always go back again, and they're the first group that gets nido tested when I go through my circulation again. So,
And let's segue right into that. So Antoine was briefly telling me about his NIDO testing process, which I'm intrigued, and I will begin to do that immediately once I get the details. So can you just go through like the details? Where do you purchase the test? What is the testing process, and what system do you use within your collection to make sure everything is tested?
So since that became such a I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't always like this, but over the past month and a half, it's become like a real big hot topic, you know. So where everyone's going crazy about NIDO this, NIDO that, whatever too. So I was going to fish head at first, but now I go to vetdna.com. So vetdna.com, and you can actually order multiple swabs and kits beforehand. You know what I mean? So so what I'll do is when I get a snake in from FedEx, FedEx is literally like a rock throw from my house. I'll walk up to there and I'll get the animal, and before the animal even gets into my car, it gets swabbed and tested right then and there. And I send the sample off, package it up, and send it back to Netflix, to FedEx before they close. So you know, because of my place, the deadline for next day stuff is 4:30 p.m. my time. So it's already sent off right then and there, and then I'll have my results usually by like noon the next day.
Okay.
You know, so my quick right away quarantine room, I have a little rack that's in my bedroom, and that's so right here is like the complete opposite side of the house. So like it's almost like literally so far from my house where like my Wi-Fi hub is out of range. So it's that far from the other snakes. So that gets done, they get put in there, they get to hang out, and they get one, and then I do another one maybe like a month later, and then like so that gives me like a good like 30-day window just to make sure they're not good with NIDO, because traveling like that is a time where they're the most stressed, and apparently when they're stressed out like that, that's when stuff like NIDO can express itself.
Okay, so what would happen, or have you ever tested something and was like, there it goes? What do you do with that snake at that point? And I mean seriously.
Oh,
because NIDO can't be cured, right?
No, so if I get it, so I haven't got one yet. Fingers crossed. Knock on fucking.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good,
everything too. Thing. But I do it now also because like I do a lot of breeder loan projects too.
Okay.
You know, so like so me and a few friends, so like we'll go on the high end male. And then like when it's my turn to have like the high end male and their females come, they all get tested too. So luckily I have not had to send anyone's female back because it came back from NIDO. You know what I'm saying? So, but if that does happen, I'll let them know, hey, your animal tested positive, you know, for NIDO. Like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? You know, do you want to just meet Mr. Freeze or like?
The reason why I'm asking, like, say if that ever happened, right? So if you, and people don't take this wrong, it's just the reality of what would happen in my collection. I'm not going to keep a snake that I know that can't be cured. So if you decide to euthanize it or have it euthanized or freeze it, because can you feed it off after it's frozen? Because I got burns and retics.
Like, oh no, I'm not. Oh, that thing isn't touching anything else. Okay. It's way too risky, man. I'm not even if I euthanize it and freeze it later, which a lot of times, like when you freeze the animal, it kills off a lot of that stuff. To me, it's just really not worth the risk. You know what I mean? So okay. It'll get humanely euthanized, and then we'll call it a day. And anything it's been around, like the rack system it's been that is sitting in, that thing gets taken apart, sleeves get taken out, that thing gets bleached down and everything too. Oh, I'm not vending Pomona. I got fights that Saturday, so I'm gonna go up to the fights, and then early Sunday morning I'm gonna drive to Pomona and come hang out for that last day. So no vending Pomona. So I'll be doing Vegas. I'll be doing Vegas September 10th weekend.
Vegas September 10th. Let me make. So I'm gonna have all this free time. I can do what the hell I want now. Vegas September 10th. Okay. Yep.
So yeah, I'm doing that one. And if let's say I'll let them know right away. I'll let them know right away what happens, and then I guess that's a conversation me and the other person will have to have at that point too. But me, if they have NIDO, if I purchase something that has NIDO, I'm calling a breeder immediately. Look, I just swabbed the animal. I got it yesterday. I got it Wednesday afternoon, and Thursday morning it came back with NIDO. You're giving me my money back,
right?
Or I'm coming to get my money back. Like, so so I would
However
just
way.
so we can do it quietly. I will go, look, hey, your animal tested positive for Nido. I want you to send me my money back like right now. And we hear nothing of this. If you get me to run around about that too, I'm gonna make it public that your little funky animal had Nido. You won't give him my money back, and then I'm gonna come find you.
Y'all heard it?
It's not a threat. It's not hyperbole. It's not a threat. No, too, like, because I'm not, because at this point I'm not, because
threats are illegal. Promises are not.
Right. I'm not spending I'm not spending $600 on animals here. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm going through all this stuff too, like
right.
if I just spend $8K for an animal, and all of a sudden now I hear nothing from you, because other situations that was like hot news a couple of months back, that was the thing where like months down the line, a year later, animals tested positive. That's different, because you never know what the animal went through at that time. You don't know where the source was.
Right.
So that too. But the next day, but the very next day, you know what I mean? Like, I swabbed that thing when I got it, sent it off. 24 hours later, boom, Nido. It did not come from my collection. It came from you. You know what I'm saying? So I will hope that at that point the person makes it right. But honestly, I don't really deal with people right now that I buy stuff from that I don't believe won't make it right at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, there's no way I'm gonna buy an animal from Ozzy and say, hey, this is what happened to Ozzy. I don't see Ozzy going, hey man, you should out of luck. Like, that, sorry. Right. Or I call Justin, you know what I mean? Like, Justin is like legitimately my friend. And I go, hey Justin, you need to check this because this is what happened. And he'd go, for real? That's crazy. Right. So I don't, and that's why when you become a breeder too, you have to be at the point where you can't just take this money and then go to Vegas with your sale right now too. Put that money aside, keep it there for a couple of weeks or even a month, just in case something happens with the animal and you can do the right thing. You know what I mean? So, right. So, I mean, just having good customer service, reasonable return policy, and just being able to just communicate with somebody when there's an issue. Like, it's one thing if someone calls you and they're cursing you out and calling you out of your name right away too, but when you have another professional, from one guy to another, telling you this is the situation, this is our discrepancy, there's no reason why two adults can't talk it out and fix this information. You know what I mean? Fix the situation. So, yeah, so whenever I hear all these problems and all these feedback things on Facebook groups, man, I'm like, why is it so difficult? Like, I've had situations where people bought snakes from me and the animal was fine with me the whole time. They took freaking 6 months to pay on this thing. And then all of a sudden, for this $500 animal, you sent me $75 a week. You know what I mean? So you get the animal and the animal's doing some crazy stuff, and then it dies or whatever like that. I'm gonna replace it, bro. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to, like, even if I'm pretty sure that you screwed up and did something wrong, I just, just to avoid all that mess. It's just not worth
repetition stuff. Yeah,
exactly. It's not worth the hassle, and then I give you your money back, or I can replace it. But if I do think it was something on your end where you screwed up, I'm just not going to ever sell to you again. So, like, I have a strong do not sell to list, man, people, because it's just not worth the hassle. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be fighting with somebody over a $500 sale, and you the most difficult person in the world, where X guy here just spent $8,000 on me, and it was literally, is it available? When can you send it? How do I send the money? That's it.
Right.
So,
and that's good. And I think that's something else. Like, for me, I have a select group of breeders, and I really research them, right? Like, and I don't go for the breeders. Not knocking anybody, because I just like the breeders who are priced higher and breeding bigger genetics, because that tells me that if you do have Nido, you probably already got rid of that damn snake. If you knew of it, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna let it sit in the collection of your own because you're sitting there with $20,000 snakes that you can't afford. But I will say this: what is, if for a new breeder, what is that time frame, right? So, what is the expectation? Should you write in your policy that this animal has been tested for Nido, or it has not been tested for Nido? I recommend that you get it tested. Like, do you put that in your policy, or you leave it up to the person?
No, I don't put it in my policy. Morph Market did have a thing at first where they were going to have like a list of people that who NITO test their animals before they ship it and who don't, but they got so much like backlash and almost like death threats from breeders about that stuff too. But it's something I truly think that's something that should be up to the person purchasing it too, because they should be aware of it. And that's just my personal opinion. Like, and sometimes, you know, if I do send something off ahead of time that I did test, I let them know, hey, this animal did pop up on my random NITO testing protocol this time too, and as of this day, it was negative. You know what I'm saying? So that way, I will throw that in there as an extra thing, you know. But most of the people that I deal with, they NITO test all their stuff anyway, you know. So like, even though I know I'm good on this end, I still people like, hey man, I sent off NITO test for your animal. I'm like, don't be telling me no bad news. I'm like, nah, she's good. I'm like, oh, goddamn right, she's good. I knew it, you know.
So the test kits, the swabs cost how much? I know the testing costs $25 per animal.
I forget. I usually buy like a whole kit with a bunch of them. Thing that like I think it's like $50 for one. I get the two sites messed up, but you can get like a bunch of swabs.
$100?
Yeah, for like a whole bunch of them too. You know what I mean? So yeah, like, and it's super simple. I take the animal, hold the mouth open, and I take the swab and get all like the, you know, try to get some weird stuff in the corners and stuff, and have them looking at me like I'm crazy, and you know.
So you're swabbing the
inside of the mouth.
Inside of the mouth. Okay, I just thought you said the cloaca. I was like, Lord Jesus, somebody want to do this for me.
Shit, I'd rather do the cloaca than the.
See, I don't know. I guess because I'm always in my retics mouths that I don't. Yeah. That kind of stuff don't bother me, but the butt, like I would not. My retics don't like their booty touch, so I don't know if
I don't like my booty touch either. Shit.
So okay, so you swab them out, put it, ship it off, and it's $25 per snake. That's nothing. Like that's nothing. So in that case, you're like you said, it cuts down your quarantine because all you're really doing is checking for mites at that particular point.
Yeah, just checking for mites and then anything. So like when I get an animal too, I do like the first thing I do when I take it out, I look at it and say, okay, this is what I ordered, and then I check it. I'll pop it right then and there to make sure I got the right sex too. Because that's something else that bothers me when people get animals too. And yes, before I start this, before you guilty people get fucking mad in the comment section, I've done it before too. So like I got an animal that I purchased, you know, as a female, and you know, getting it all big, couple years down the line, I'm like, all right, let me start getting this thing bred, and then all of a sudden you hear thumping and punching in there, and you hear freaking overly hissing and tail whipping. I'm like, man, let me see what this man, these big ass dicks on this girl. But fortunately, I've been able to call people and be like, hey, no, I got this animal from you 2 years ago, and it turned out to be a dude. And people are like, oh, that's messed up, whatever like that. Oh, let me know what I can do to make it right. This is what I have. This is what we can do too. But there's some people that if you buy something and you say it's missex 3 years later and you call that person, they're going to look at you like you're crazy. Which part of me is like, they're not really in the wrong either. But if you want to have a repeat customer and if you want to have good customer service because it was your mistake. But you know what I mean? But the thing about that is though, there are people who mess it up for everybody too. I know for a fact there's people who've like tried to say that their snake was missexed and it wasn't the same damn snake because people try to get over. Just like there's people who say they didn't receive a certain snake from a big breeder and they had that snake sitting in their rack too, and they got their money refunded and they essentially got a free snake. You know what I mean? So
that's one of the things I'm learning being in different Patreons, right? That shit like that happens. And like I said the other day in a Patreon, that's fraud. Like even down to people receiving a snake and canceling a credit card or anything like that. So what payment methods do you use that you think are the safest?
So to me, Zelle is the safest. So from a buyer standpoint, once you Zelle somebody something, you ain't getting that back. Because there's so many steps. Are you sure you know this person? This person isn't in your contacts. Do you have their email? Then your phone number, that too. So Zelle, and it goes straight to your bank account. There's no fee. There's no instant transfer. You gotta wait to get your money. And start that too. It goes right there too. So I really think that Zelle is the quickest, safest, and the most hassle-free form of payment. But I use everything. I have the physical square where you can tap on the card, you can chip reader, you can manually input your credit card into the square. I have Apple Pay, I have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. I have still, and I'm kind of doing away from that now because even though my PayPal is set up as a legit business for my gym, I have both of my emails set up for it too. But every once in a while, there's always some hiccup on PayPal. Like we need to go through and fix this tax form. Okay, I fixed the tax form. Oh, we need another one. Or you trying to take out too much money. Or we need to do a whole. It's just PayPal's just been super weird lately. So I try to stray away from that. But and then like always, cash is always king. So if I have anything over 5 figures, I prefer you come out here, get the animal yourself, and ship it to yourself. So if it's an animal.
But if you have cash, what kind of guarantee? Is it a contract? Like how you're verifying that this transaction happened?
Well, usually before then, there's always like there's a text trail or a morph market trail too, too. So because I always make sure whenever I'm buying something, I have a paper trail through morph market or text message first, and let them know what my intentions were up until that point. You know what I mean? And then if I do,
another thing I like about Morph Market, what you're talking about with the missexing too. You like everything I ever purchased through Morph Market, I can go back and see everything, and it's really good for tax purposes as well.
Mm-hmm.
But if you bought a snake, even if it was 2 years ago, and the person identified that snake as a female, you grew that snake up 2 years, and now it's a male. That's a good way for the both of you to confirm that and say, maybe 50-50.
But the weird thing about that is too, with that is they can just delete the listing. So you gotta make sure that when you make that purchase, you go through the whole page and you do a screen recording or a screenshot all the info from there, the one that you paid for too. So for your own records as well, because you could easily delete it.
Damn it, I just gotta learn how to pop.
And that's it. And that's it, man. So popping and probing is good. So
I got a whole probe kit, but I won't probe a baby.
So I have this thing. Anytime I pop something that I'm great to sell and I don't see hemipenes, I automatically go double check it with a probe kit.
Okay.
Just because sometimes some snakes just have small hemipenes and they don't want to come out, and they shy, they got stage fright, they got performance anxiety, whatever, So sometimes you might do it and see nothing. I'll double check with a probe just to make sure, it's nothing. So like when my clutch is out, I'll check them all there, mark them down what I have on my card, the sexes too. I'll do it again after they shed just to make sure they both match each other. And then when I put them up for sale, I do it again. And the day before they get boxed up, they get checked one more time. Like I do not want to send off a missexed animal, man. I'd rather have an animal that's DOA because of freaking FedEx than me sending something that I had that was sick or mites or something like that too,
Yeah. So let's talk about and when I ask this question, again, people, everybody does this differently. I just like for my own personal knowledge to ask this question and to see the consistency of the people that I personally interview. You can continue to do whatever you want to do. If you don't like Antoine's answer, it's not about the response. It's more about understanding the mindset and what has been successful. So when do you start pairing your males? At what weight do you start pairing your males and your females?
So my males, as soon as the little bastards start having sperm, they start getting put to work.
And the only way you can tell that is by popping. Or sometimes I actually saw one of my he had sperm plugs in his water, so I was able to identify that. But other than that.
So when those hemipenes start turning purple, you know what I mean, and it don't look like snail eyes anymore. That's what I call a baby hemipenes. But they don't look like snail eyes no more, and you know what I mean. And you can when you pop them, you'll see like sperm cases and stuff like that too, right? So and that's it. So but like age wise, I think the earliest I've started breeding the male is like 8 or 9 months. Antoine, have you ever had a positive test? Fortunately, I have not yet. So yeah, I am.
Knock on wood. We don't want one.
Dude, you should see me like that 24-hour, that 12-hour wait, man. I'll be sitting there like, You know what I mean? Even if I have something like with an RI or like a mouth rot or anything like that too, I always assume like the worst and I don't test them too. So like, sometimes you'll have an animal that gets substrate in their mouth and it'll get infected and their face will swell up too. So once I clean that out and get them from the vet or whatever, I still swab them like either way. So just anytime I get an animal that's out of the ordinary, that has a regurgitation or anything weird, my brain goes, "Oh my God, Nido!"
So I think that's an important thing too. Like a lot of times people buy animals, and this is even just going to be a pet owner. You can't be so afraid of the animal that you're not willing to go in his mouth. You have to be able to look at that, because I don't know, and I think and I was saying this with someone else, with Reggie. I never experienced a respiratory infection, even as a pet owner. I know that is more, likely being a breeder now and producing more and more animals. But my thing is that respiratory infections still can be treated, right?
Right, exactly too. So
unless it's vital connected.
so I fortunately have some vets around here that's border like reptile vets and things like that too, because it's stuff that I suggested, So a couple of years ago, before I bought an ultrasound, I taught my veterinarian how to use the ultrasound and what probe to use for reptiles. And then he gave me a big discount the first time. And then 6 months later, when I came back, he tried to charge me $150 per animal.
What?
Yeah, so he tried to beat me over the head. And I was like, dude, I can just go buy my own ultrasound for like cheaper than that, So I got on topic. Where were we going with this? The RI stuff too.
Right.
So I have vets around that treat with that too. They have like injectables and oral stuff they have now. But now, so this is another little tidbit of information too for people. So if you see anything early in the animal, like where it could be like mouth rot coming on early or like an RI too, the first thing I do is put them in the incubator.
Somebody else said that.
I put them in a seal, clip them, make sure obviously it's enough ventilation in there.
I think it was Kevin from Nerd.
Paper towels, whatever like that too, so you can make sure, so that way I can see if there's like mucus coming out of your mouth or so no substrate. I pop them in there. It's like max temperature, it's high humidity in there because I got the humidity in there the right way. And usually if they're having any kind of issues or like wheezing or anything popping like that out of their nose, a couple days in there, boom, done. So, and then usually I'll mark like in my racks what area they were in, and maybe they would get some kind of draft in that area, because I use ambient. So I have to figure out, there's a lot of stuff I have to do with my collection, like figure out why when I have females on this part of the rack, it takes them almost 75 days to have eggs after they ovulate or whatever like that. And why this one down here, I get eggs a lot faster on this level of racks too. And that's information I have to keep for myself. And it's just so weird, man. Like I know
I'm gonna use one of these incubators for a quarantine incubator if something like that happens.
Yeah, you got the room. Yeah, makes sense too.
More and more necessary.
Yep. What do you have? Hot box ones? What do you have?
So I have two sea serpents, and I don't even know what that smaller one is. I gotta look to see what that is. But the bigger ones are sea serpents.
So you got like the big one, the 60
No, I got the one that's my height, because I don't want nothing taller than me. Even with rats. I want rats. I was telling Jeremy from Wolf's dad, I don't want rats up here. So I was at his house. He had the hybrid rats, and they were actually like perfect height for me. So this is the 248.
Okay. Yeah. They got step ladders and stuff, right?
Yeah, I still don't like
They make the little thug ladders, the pat where you go in there and
And my husband will tell you I'm clumsy. I done broke every bone in my body. I got up there, snake pop out, on the ground, broke my head or something. I can't.
Oh no, I can't have that, man. So.
Yes. But I do love the sea serpent. I think that I will definitely go, because the one that's a bit above that one. I could do a smaller step ladder if I had to, but that would be one that I would use only when I'm breeding. You know what I mean? Like when I'm just producing. So
how tall are you?
I'm 5'3".
It's only the big one is only 60 inches. It's only
I
5 feet.
know, but it looks so much tall. That's like six
No,
feet,
it's
right?
no, 60 inches is 5 feet. Crazy.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
okay, 60 here. Okay.
I'm
Well,
sitting here
this
like
one actually
I'm
makes
like
me
this is like
feel
that.
right. Wait a
No,
minute. This
no,
one makes me feel like it's right at
yeah,
my.
because the 48-inch one has 4 feet, and then the 61 is five
Oh,
feet.
you
Yeah.
know why? I still have the little thing underneath. I need to remove it. I guess I don't know. Maybe it's a palette that it
The
should go
palette.
on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I just noticed that. Like that's why.
Yeah, that thing.
Good break.
I'm sitting here like, man, I've seen a million of these sea serpents, and these things,
I didn't see the 7-footer one yet.
the 7 footer one. That's the new ones that Mike Wilbanks are making. I thought you were talking about those things.
No, so I like the one. I don't know who it is, but Jaffe Exotics has a nice incubator too, but it's not from Sea Serpent. So I might look into those too. If anybody knows who that is, put that in the comments.
Dude,
All right, so your
mine.
females.
I still use a Pepsi fridge with the see-through glass on the front.
See,
I have my own. I put my own heating
I
in it.
am
Have my
not
own
precious.
fan.
I need shit that's professionally put together. Cause I can tell you right now, but I killed something. I wish I had that skill set because even Jeremy's, he had a beautiful incubator that he said someone donated and it was a Pepsi refrigerator at some point.
Yeah,
So,
I
but
think I
that's
think
all it really is.
mhm. when I upgrade from this one, I'm doing the closet. I'm just taking my like a sliding closet and just like reinforcing the inside of the walls there and doing it that way. Kind of like the way how Justin's is, and then how the way did you see that post on Patreon like a month ago when Ozzy posted like having his auxiliary incubator inside the closet? Just like that. It's
Yeah,
super
I
simple,
saw
man.
that. I saw the day after he set that up, and
Hmm.
he was like, and it's perfect. Like it's perfect. Which was again, if he's gonna try that with his animals, it
Dude,
must work.
I miss the corn snake. Dude, when I used to do like colubrids and stuff back in the days, man, I would literally just stick them in the closet and then they'd be done in 2 months. I didn't have to incubator. It's like 75, 80
Yeah.
degrees. For some of those species, you just put them in the closet or just stick them on top of the racks and then they'll be done in no time, you
Yeah,
know?
my corn snake is the only animal who don't even have a heat source. It has a heat pad. If he
Hmm.
wants to go over there, he can, but he doesn't have any other heat. And they're just good. That's just the nature of them. 75 will
Hmm.
work for them. They don't really care about all of that
Yeah.
as much. So you said your males, as soon as you see sperm plugs, when do you pair your females? Like
Uh,
successfully.
so
Because for the people, they need to know it worked.
right. So before I go by like the before I go by like the weight and age thing too, I want to physically look at them and see, okay, body wise, are they equipped to breed right now?
Okay.
Because like for you to start going off of food and not to have enough fat reserves and things like that, like I want you to actually look healthy enough to breed. So if you're 3.5 years old, but you're 1,500 grams, that 1,500 grams isn't gonna matter if you're 4 feet long and you're only like you're not a big snake. You know what I mean?
That makes good sense.
So I'll show you. Like let's see
Yeah.
if I have one. If I got something that's not gonna bite my face off when I do this too.
So while you doing that, Jeremy said, if he remember correctly, there's only 1 or 2 species of Nido that can jump species.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
do that test for all Nido or a specific
So
one?
so so vet DNA I think does like the more specific Nido
Okay.
strain testing too. So from what I read, I think that's why I switched over to vet DNA.
Okay.
So so let me see. So like this female right here, she's like 3 years old, right? She has the weight. She's over 1,500 grams. She still has follicles too. But to me, she just doesn't have like that width that I want to be like a healthy breeder. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
even though she goes by the numbers, quote unquote, like everybody, oh, they have to be 1,500 grams and they got to be this age, just like that too. To me, like this girl's gonna slug out or just stop eating altogether if I breed her now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's somebody worth waiting on. Where I got another female down here, that double head sunset puzzle. She's like 1,700, 1,800 grams, and she's only a year and a half. but she's bulky and she has follicles.
Okay.
So,
And that's
you
what
know,
a sonogram does. And I'm so
yeah,
glad I finally can use one.
yeah,
Damn
because I
it, I
mean,
can finally use one.
man, it is, and to me too. When I realized too, man, with the ultrasound will get you spoiled when you're checking for follicles. You don't see the growth too. If you have a set schedule where you have a male you're working for multiple females too, if you can stick to that and just use that as a guideline where you're not overworking your males, I kind of do it for that now because before, if I didn't see if I had like one or two females in the breeding group and I didn't see any follicle growth and I would skip when I would normally breed them, I was getting a lot of reabsorbs 2 years ago. Where now I just check them, mark it down, and just use it for informational purposes to track their growth. But if I got a 2 or 3 female breeding set from off of a male, I still get that one lock in every month or every 5 weeks. You know what I mean? So,
Okay.
So yeah, just do it like that because otherwise you kind of get spoiled and then you kind of mess up your breeders too. So like I said, I mainly use my ultrasound to save the male where I'm not overworking him when I have a lot of stuff too. Because most of my males, I'll do like one male I have anywhere between 3 and 7 females that they're breeding with that season. But the cool thing about it is they're always different parts of the season, so they're not all getting like worked through at the same time. You know.
All right. So help me through this process. So you have a female, for example. Let's say she's 15 millimeters, and you're are you paying her at 15 millimeters?
So if before I see follicles that that they have like the age and the weight that I want to, I'll pair them. I call it like a jump off pairing. I don't know.
Okay.
I call it a jump off pair because I've proven to me with my collection that even females the same ages, if nobody has follicles, that copulation to me makes follicles grow. Because I have clutch mates that all around the same size, and I've purposely not touched them and bred those, and those are the ones that have follicles now. You know,
Okay.
so as far as my experience and what I do in my collection, so that jump off one to me is easy, and then I'll give them like another 6 weeks to just kind of hang out and see what they're behaving like, and then I'll check them again like every month, and then if I see a little tiny follicle, okay, at least she's producing some follicles, and then to me, 18 millimeters is like that's the go. To me, that's the initial get the melanin that you want, go time right there, and then after that, I do 25. You know, and then once I get that glow, I do it right away too. So like right before they ovulate, because once they ovulate, it's too late. You're gonna get something, you know. But
Okay.
but I'm around my collection long enough where if that animal is unusually bright, that means she's about to ovulate, and that's the whole glow before they grow thing, the go thing. And a lot of people misconstrue that whole glowing process, thinking that if she's doing that, she's ovulating at that point. No, she's getting ready to. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that point right there in the ovulation, I believe that that's also akin to other animals who ovulate too. That's their prime time to be breeding. You know what I mean? Just like humans do the same thing too. There's like when women, a lot of people don't even know that when women are about to ovulate, for some reason you'll be like seeing somebody at work or somebody you go to school with, and your brain will be like, man, for some reason she's a lot hotter today than she was 3 weeks ago. I can't put my finger on it. Don't have sex with her then, because that means she's most receptive to getting pregnant. Then. It's just the truth. So I tell people all the time, like, man, if for some reason you have no interest in this person ever, and this weird time of the month where all of a sudden you're just like, you know what, man, she's got that Zaza about her today. No, leave her alone.
Absolutely hysterical. What has been one of the things that you learned about breeding that totally changed your production today? Like, so when you started off, I ain't on the fin of all this, but now because of that learning process, you feel as though you're a better producer of animals.
Oh, so I realized like the past couple seasons that your numbers mean nothing to you. Like your whole 30-day this and 50 days for ovulation that. Like that these snakes don't have calendars in front of them. They don't care about your minimum weights. They don't care about your time frame. They don't care about what Facebook or YouTube told you. They're gonna do what they want to do. and you have to, and it's up to you as a breeder to learn how to read your animals. You know what I'm saying? So like after a couple of years of breeding, you should know that, you know, when they start bowl wrapping at what size, what does that mean? When they're seeking the warm side now, what does that mean? When all of a sudden they're still searching, you see their snouts coming out the front of the tub because they're trying to find food, even though you just bred them. Why are they a lot hungrier this time of year than normal too? So reading your animals and knowing how each individual snake is behaving throughout the year, off season and during their breeding season, is one of the things that the reason why this year now I'm on clutch 22, and last year I did 16 clutches total as of like December of last year, and then the year before that I did 8 clutches because everybody reabsorbed because I wasn't watching what I was supposed to, you
Well,
know.
I'm glad I asked that question because
So
I have a snake right now, a female, who I was telling my husband constantly bowl wrapping, but she's only literally like 700 grams. So I
right.
didn't even bother to sonogram her because I'm thinking impossible. She couldn't even be ready to build. But I probably
Yeah,
should still sono her.
right. And it could just be she's bull rapping because she like hurts the way she's thermoregulated. She likes that side a little bit better at certain times of the day. You know what I mean? So like usually like if you're up, the ambient temperature in the room might be a little bit warmer that day. So the difference between her hot spot and her cold spot might be a little bit off for her. So the time that you're out and about during the day when the room is a little bit warmer, she may like that cold spot to just cool down a little bit, and that's it, you know.
Okay. All right. But it
Yeah, so
doesn't hurt to sono her.
yeah, no, it doesn't hurt to. I mean, just to see, but if you have a female, if you have a female with follicles now at 700 grams, that means she's just like, that means when it's time for her to get a little bit bigger, she'll be, you know what I mean? It'll be easy for her to breed the following year. So
Okay.
um yeah, so yeah, so just like I say, just knowing your animals and knowing your behavior too. Because the worst thing you could do to me is not know what's going on in your collection. Like I have my son, he does all my cleaning and stuff too. But every day I'm home, I'm looking at my snakes. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
if I look in the tub and go, "Hey man, did you change the water today? It was kind of dirty." "Oh, I did it last night." "We'll do it again." You know,
Right.
so so I know what animals like. If I see animal I think is looking on the skinny side, I throw a rat in there, feed him a little bit extra, you know what I mean? So, um, and like now I'm at the point where when I have that, the 1,000 gram wall you hear about now, I don't have those anymore because now if they start acting funny for regular rats, I got ASFs now. Oh, I'm sorry, I have California field mice. I got desert field mice now. So I have enough where I have like less than 10 snakes that are just on ASFs, but I produce enough where every week I can get them an adult. You know what I mean? So and yeah, so I just not slowing it down, and just weird. And then what's weird about those problem eaters is usually once they have their first clutch, everybody's back on regular rats again. Like
Okay.
I have mousers that I've grown up for 4 years and now just eat rats. Because they're like, man, I took all this time off and I eating while I was grabbing, man. I don't give a fuck what I'm eating now.
Right. I'm eating anything now. So do you breed all year?
Yeah, like each individual snake is on their own cycle. So
Okay.
like once they lay, I count down anywhere between 5 to 7 months time frame when they should start having follicles back. So if I not giving them a break the next year, I'm making sure I got their pre-weight back, and that's why I write their weight on the clutch cards. People say that's not necessary, so they'll see my videos and go, "Why do you write your weight on your clutch cards?" I'm like, "Well, I might sell her one day, so I like to have that every information possible for the female that I send them all to if it's requested." So, and I kind of give me a time frame of where I want to get their weight back to, just to make sure they're nice and healthy and have enough fat reserves for the next season. So anywhere between 5 and 7 months when I start back pairing again, and then with that, most of my females, I'm usually within like 10 days of the last time they bred before. So like I might have like one might lay April 20th this year and lay again like April 10th or April 30th the following year.
Got you. Now, do you what would be your advice to new breeders about, because a lot of us come in, or a lot of people come in and they see the Justins, the Aussies, and the Antoines, and all you people who are successful, um about other investments. Like, you have other investments, you
Mm-hmm.
have a gym that you actually operate.
Mm-hmm.
and you train, what would be your honest feedback about not putting all your eggs in one basket of ball python breeding?
Well, there are very few successful people in life, period, that just have one source of income. Like there's not a whole lot of them. Like I have my day job. I work in can you hear me still?
Yep.
Okay, so my day job, I work in military aviation. I'm an electrician on the Harrier. That's the fighter jet that hovers. So I've been doing that for 22 years. So that's my day job. So then,
Okay.
so I have my gym that I teach jujitsu,
Yeah.
Muay Thai,
I
MMA,
don't
and
like you. I don't like you. I live in Fort Washington, and that damn fighter jet person who hovers over my house, I freak out every time. I think it's about to be a bomb or something coming. I'm
and
by Andrews.
then then I have the income from Instagram and YouTube. I'm the vice president of 559 Fights, which I do like all the matchmaking for that. And then I do freelance cut man work, so I travel to different fight events and I'll wrap hands and work cuts for certain events too. Um, what else? I think that's it.
Patreon.
Oh, then Patreon, and then I also like travel through SoCal, and I do people's collect I also sign their collections too, so I have a set price for like their like the size of their place plus gas. I do that too, so I mean I got money coming in, and the reason why I do a whole lot too is because I'm terrible at saving money. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like,
I mean,
I
look.
just,
If
I
I didn't
mean,
have the husband I have, saving would not be
yeah,
an option. My theory in life is, but what if I die tomorrow? I don't want to leave it all to
yeah,
somebody else.
bills are paid. Bills are paid. My children taken care of and stuff like that too. And I know I need to do, but like, I just spend money on dumb shit, man. So I have to keep
So
my
I
spending habit.
have
My
a
spending
bad
habits are,
Amazon habit, and my husband
yeah,
went through and deleted all the credit cards except for a couple.
yep, yep.
And
Between
so therefore, I still have a bad Amazon habit. I just don't have all the resources to.
Yeah, between 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 Amazon and snakes and strippers, man, I don't know, bro. Like, I said that out loud. No.
You did. It's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Timestamp. Time mark that.
But you also, I know this personally, and like I was saying to Antoine before we came on, someone offered me a big number for two of Antoine's snakes. And guys, I'm new to ball python breeding, so I don't understand everything that I have except for certain things because I know what I paid for them.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what I paid Antoine for these snakes. I had to ask Antoine flat out. This person offered me this for these snakes. Look, break it down for me. And Antoine was like, "Cause you got a really good deal."
Well, and two,
I knew I got a deal, but I didn't know it was that damn good.
well, and think about it like this as well. What so I was talking about earlier, if someone has a specific project that they want to work on, a lot of times if it's a high-end project, it's high-end because it's not readily available right now.
Mm-hmm.
What up, Reggie? So yeah, so like I said, with the asphalt clown project, when I went to Tinley, I told myself, okay, if I can't find a visual asphalt clown male at this show, I'm gonna just go spend the money on an adult het or whatever like that too. It's gonna take me a little bit longer to do what I need to do, you know. So but when I saw the animal there, I didn't look at the price. Like I paid $3K for it. I'll let you know that. Honestly, if that thing was $5,000, I would have paid the $5,000 for it because I know that I'm replacing yellow belly and all of my clown stuff, and I'm adding to my multi-gene clown stuff because like I need asphalt clowns into the Hellbender and the Violator project. So that's a requirement for me. So and also too because when you get to the point where you start like having animals from that stuff that's possible yellow belly this and possible yellow belly that, what will break my heart, man, if I cut over some eggs and I saw an ivory clown combo that could either be just an ivory clown or a 7-gene ivory clown. You know what I'm saying?
And
So
that's the risk when you have that yellow belly or
yeah,
asphalt. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So like if I got yellow belly in there or possibly on both sides, and I cut open a bunch of white snakes that could either be an ivory clown or it could be an ivory red stripe hurricane spot nose GHI stranger clown. That's a damn $20,000 difference. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so I much rather have I'd rather much have a super asphalt red stripe spot nose hurricane stranger clown than the ivory version of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's just why, man. Yeah, white snakes are cool, but not in every situation.
Right.
So yeah, so that was just to me, that was just important to me, and I would have paid damn near double for that if I needed to, because that's what's part of my project, and that's what I need to, because in the long run, like that male there that I paid 3K for, the stuff he's going to, I'm gonna make 3K off of one snake from that. So I'm fine. I'll break even just off one animal if I decide to sell it and then keep the rest back.
Got it. So a good tool, a good tip to do is, if you have a snake, regardless if it's quote unquote high end or not, check Morph Market to see if it's available, and you may want to just rethink the pricing on it.
Yeah, so
Or try it, because it ain't
so
gonna
when,
hurt it, right?
so when I set my prices on Morph Market, I go by the availability of the animal as well. You know what I mean? Because with supply and demand, so say like right now, a single gene clown female, like if you put in clown female Morph Market, you'll probably come up with like 1,500, 2,000 clowns. You know what I'm saying? So right now, you could a deal on a single gene clown female. I got one for sale now for $400. You know what I mean?
Okay.
If all of a sudden I go on Morph Market and there are no single gene female clowns left on Morph Market, I'm putting that bitch up for $1,000. I'm serious. I mean, that's how
Right.
that's just how it goes. Look at VPI Hayes Anthony. I just sold an adult VPI Hayes Anthony for like under $500, and the breeders killed me for that shit. They was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Dude, I got the animal for free 8 years ago and made $25,000 off of her, making JHI head stuff and triple hets and stuff like that too. Like, she did her job. I got what I got out of her too, and it's just time to move on. I need the rack space, and it's time to pass it on to somebody else who can have some good projects.
Yeah. That's a question definitely for you.
Thoughts on thoughts on using rare genetics for sex and snake? I don't know what that is. What's rare genetics?
Okay. Because I definitely don't know. So G3, if you can elaborate, I'll catch that elaboration down in the comments, because I don't know what it is either. I figured Antoine would know. Anybody else? There's other breeders in here. Reggie's
No,
here.
I don't.
If anybody knows what that is, please school us.
Nah, it's the face he made when he said he rather for real. Yeah, man. How's everyone in the chat? So he's 4 S's. What's happening, fam?
Kevin.
Listen to my deal something
Yeah,
else.
Kevin I met him for the first time in person, and we can talk. I like people like that. I'm a talker. He's a talker, so pretty dope. Let's see. It was another question I didn't want to miss.
Doing great, FNA. Thank you for getting ready to go to pre-party for the Bongathon.
Oh,
Nice.
that's right. That's next week. Bongathon is next week.
Doing
So
laundry.
your son helps with the snakes because you travel a lot.
Yeah. So this is his day off. He works Sunday through Friday. So his job is he does spot cleaning every day. Whenever I have a shed, he does a complete change, and everything that's on paper, he does complete change every day. He does water as needed and every 3 days. And he just, he mixes the cocoa. He does general cleanup around the place too, and he gets 10% of all my sales. So that's how he gets paid. So,
Okay.
so if he, if he has to make sure that when it's time to pull those animals out for sale, they have to look healthy enough and fat enough to be picture worthy. You know what I'm saying? Because I won't post an animal for sale that doesn't look good to me. So if an
Gotcha.
animal for some reason looks slightly dehydrated, where it has like folds in the skin, or just doesn't look as bright, or for some reason I have to fix something going on with the animal, it's not going on for sale looking like shit out of my place.
It's
Like,
not spicy.
popping is easy. You'll get the habit. You'll get in good on it. Have you seen? Did you watch my video for about popping and probing?
Let me tell you, yes, I watched yours. Wiz did it for me in person. I had bombed through it 100 times. I tried it on one of the babies about 3 weeks ago, and she's a female. And I think for me, the male would be easier because I know she's a female.
Right.
So I did it, and I believe I did it. I have to do it on a male that I know is a male. And my fear with the male is because he actually, like it's like kicking somebody in the wee wee. I don't want to like hurt him and he gets upset. So the female was a little easier. I have to try to do a male.
My girl said kicking somebody
in a wee wee. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I just think because I know he got something there, it might be a little harder. But I keep trying. I just feel like I don't want to hurt the snake.
They'll be fine. They'll be fine. Okay. Like just like everything else, you gotta get your reps in. You know what I mean? So like even if you get to the point where like you just get some like you just produce some like lower end stuff, like use them as your practice snakes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, because to see people just go, and I'm like, it gotta be easy, and it gotta be my mental. But I definitely want to be able to do it.
Have you watched Billy's video on it?
Village?
Billy's video?
Yeah, Billy,
he can do it. He can do it with one hand. Yeah. So
really, forget the one-handed stuff. I'm still struggling with positioning.
Yeah.
But yeah, I seen Wiz is really good at it. Like I said, he used a big snake at Big D's house to show us. And I felt like I was gonna come home and do it, but
once you get the toothpaste concept in your head, you know what I mean by that, right? The toothpaste concept.
So how you squeeze it?
Yeah, so like going from the tail back. Yeah, just like as you roll a thumb on two, like you keep pressure here, and as you roll, you put more and more pressure. You're literally just making the pins come out the cloaca. You express it like that. So once you get that concept in, you can actually feel it as you're rolling it. And you see a little fleshy patch. It's a female, and you see the snail antenna. You know what I mean? The snail eyes.
I'm gonna try later because one thing, my granddaughter will be here later on, and normally when my grandkids around, I try to be a superhero. Maybe it'll give me more confidence if I think I'm showing her. I'm gonna try it again later with the males though. I believe I'm okay with when I know it's a female. I just want to see the male that I know is a male, pins come out and know that I did it and without going crazy. So
right, and then but sometimes like if you don't put enough pressure, you won't get the hemipines out. So it just happens. So you have to put a little bit of pressure on it, but the snake, you would know the snake's being hurt because the snake will bite you. Like I've been pro before get off of me, bitch. I'm like, oh, like,
she kicked me in the wee wee. Don't see.
Yeah, so I mean, they will let you know.
That's too funny. I'm definitely that's something that's a big goal. A big goal for me. And I'm gonna get it done before Daytona, so I can impress Keys when I go down there and take one of his snakes and just show him I'm a popper now.
Oh, nice.
Let's see. I had a really late night at work last night, so I was happy. I had something to listen to, but my battery kept dying. They talking about the show last night. Let's see, because it's a bunch of comments. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss any important questions.
How many viewers you got right now? I can't see.
It's more than 30. I can tell you that.
And everybody,
it was more than 35.
And everybody here better be subscribed too. Hit that button, man. Let's get that 1,000.
And if you didn't hear in the beginning, the 1K giveaway is going to be either a flight to Daytona or Bigger Pockets. It's going to be your choice, depending on how you can schedule Bigger Pockets. What
weekend is the Bigger Pockets thing?
It's the first week in October. I think it's either the 2nd to the 4th or the 4th to the 6th. I think it's the 2nd to the 4th. So whatever that first weekend is, and it's right there in San Diego.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in San Diego.
Yeah, I can make a big weekend out of it. I can get some jiu-jitsu training in there and stuff too, and get some boxing in, and then show up all beat up to the thing.
Dre said just chilling on this rainy Saturday, man. It's not even raining here. About to check on the snakes. Dre, my pain in the but my bestie. He's the best bestie to have. He deals with me.
Oh yeah. We went there that night. Animals can test negative, then positive, and negative again, depending on the viral load. Yep. So and that's why. Yep, Jeremy, I agree with that too, and that's why I said like I like to do it like when they just get shipped because I think that's like the most time they're stressed out. You know what I mean? So I'll just do it then, right when they fresh. They've been sitting in the box all day. They're probably scared and they don't know what's going on. So that's why I'll pop them out then. Hey, test them right away and then go from there, man.
And so when you shipping the test back, that was the question I had. When you said you get the results back, it's through email?
Yeah, you get the results through email. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, or
Oh,
just
wait a minute. Is that Keisha or T? Terrence, you learned how to pop today before me? I sure hope that's Keisha and not Terrence. I feel better if it's Keisha. With your non-popping ass. No, let's see who, and because he did say wherever he was going, I think Dale was going to show him. So if Terrence did it, I definitely can do it because he was just as nervous about it as I was. Keisha's a G though. She probably would have beat you. Let's see if any other important questions before I go to my next question for Antoine. I don't want to miss anybody. And y'all, I it's so many, so I can't go through all of them. So don't feel bad. Okay, I just want questions for Antoine.
Hi, we should have my
wait a minute. Rescue, are you being a smart ass?
I mean, I said the same thing. I said the same thing in my head too, but I didn't. Oh man,
that's too funny.
I just figured that since we was live, the math wasn't mathing right for you.
Yeah, it wasn't, and it clicked all of a sudden. I'm thinking to myself, my husband is 6 feet, and I'm looking at this thing like, okay, all right.
That's crazy. I was like, cause I know you was tall. I know you wasn't. I was like, I know you wasn't that short at the show, man. Because like,
yeah, I mean, especially now with heels. But no, I'm 5'3". Definitely 5'3". I'm taller than a lot of females. I feel, you know. Oh, he said, I sure did, Kevin. My cat? No, she must be talking to the other Kevin. Look at my Kevin. Look, Jeremy, I still think he belongs only to me. I love me some Kevin McCurley. Video will be out Monday. Oh, so you're going to do a video. I want to see. Antoine, those 2 female pastel hat DGs I got from you last year are savages, are growing up really, really nicely.
Nice. That's awesome. Let me message me. Let me know what their weight is right now. It's crazy. I got a clutch. I sold off black pastel pied female 2 years ago, and somebody got a clutch off of them now. So they made like some pandas with them and stuff too. So that was dope. Yeah. What's happening, bro?
Yeah, so both the male and female I had from they are 2 of my best eaters. Especially that G stripe. That she you can't feed other people, and she just ate 2 or 3 days ago, and I'm like, you can't be hungry. You didn't poop out what you ate yet. She be still trying to eat again.
I showed you their parents, right? To those 2.
No, well, you showed me you showed me one earlier, but I didn't see the. I don't think it was the male.
So that's the mom right there. So real light, because she was sold as a dinker G stripe because she's a little bit lighter than my other G stripes, but I really wasn't able to figure anything else out with like the normal 2. So she's breeding to a pinstripe clown head enhancer that's 50% het G stripe. So I'm trying to prove him out now. And I'm trying to figure out where the dad is at because he's breeding to somebody, but I can't remember where he's. That's so embarrassing.
Wait a minute. So let's talk about that. What system do you use, especially when you have that many snakes?
System.
I just ain't no damn system.
Throw over there. Well,
I'll find him.
Yeah, he can't be but too far. Let me see. No, he's. I don't know. I found.
That is too funny.
It's so. He's on my. Whenever I do my ultrasound and for like the week, whatever, I have a little list on there. But I need to pair stuff to right away. Oh, I know where he's at. Okay. I thought about it just now. Oh, he is. You probably can't see. Hold on, let me move it over. He is locked with my yellow belly head clown.
I can see.
So, yeah, they're locked right now because she hit 18 millimeters yesterday too. So, for that, I'm trying to hit yellow belly clowns. That's 100% het enhancer and Posset G stripe with that one too. So,
Yep. So today is my baby brother's birthday. If Gerard,
Oh,
if you're
nice.
watching, happy birthday. And it's also National Snake Day. So ironically, I always mess with Dre, my youngest brother. We get along like me and Dre get along. We love each other and we fight like hell.
That's
And
funny.
today he shares birthdays with my favorite thing, Snake. He needs to change his birthday to the 17th. You can't share the Snake Day with him. But he was also my mom was so funny the other day when I told her, what I shared with you guys, some of you guys about my future. And my mom was like, "So you want to leave that for snakes?" And so we had to break it down for my mom. And I had to say to her, even if I don't produce another snake, but let me just explain to you, Mom, what snake eggs cost. What did that actually turn out to? Her whole mindset changed. She was like, "Oh, okay, congratulations."
For real, right? Yeah, like
She was like, "Oh, okay."
so
So I'm
like
very
I
excited.
so what helped me a lot though too is I have like my goals written out what I want to do, you know what I mean, for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
So like I have a aggressive scary plan for 2026. Like it's you look at it, sometimes I look at it and be like, oh man, this I don't know why
Same.
I put myself in these situations, but I mean it's definitely possible, you know. So by 2026, with everything I'm doing and because I'm retiring from the military contracting sometime next year or sooner than that, they'll like I want to have a net worth of like $10 million by then, you know, in the next by 2026. YouTube isn't my strongest platform. So I set that goal for 20,000 subscribers on
Okay.
YouTube. So to me, a successful YouTube channel is 10,000 minimum. So when you get 10,000 subscribers, that's what I think we consider a successful channel. So I want to just double that. But for Instagram, since I make more money off of Instagram than YouTube, I want 100,000 IG followers. So that way I can do like a lot of branded content and have a lot of big companies paying me to like show their products off too. And
Okay, so I'm ignorant. I know YouTube, you can, get monetized. How do you get monetized on Instagram without being a stripper hoe?
so that's probably the best way to get. So I get paid for my reels now and for my
Okay.
live. So once I broke 10,000, I got a message saying, "Hey, you can get monetized, whatever." Too. So now what Instagram is good at doing, Instagram is good at seeing other platforms like talk about this next. I appreciate you, bro, Kevin. You the man, bro. I thank you, man. So um so Instagram is really good at seeing the other social media platforms out there and seeing how well they're doing and just straight jacking their shit. Like straight copying, straight
Okay.
copying. So TikTok right now is probably the biggest platform is for influencers and creatives. Now I'm gonna say this and people don't like this, but if you're trying to be a creative and you're trying to be a social media person, you have to do TikTok. I'm 40 years old and I fucking hate TikTok, but I realize it's a necessary evil. Like TikTok is the popping thing now, you know, because we're in that microwave age where everybody likes to see things instantly now. You know, a couple of months ago, TikTok surpassed YouTube for views, like for like views in a month or something like that too. So with those short videos, TikTok is outdoing YouTube right now. So if you decide to do like Instagram Reels, just make those same Reels for TikTok and post it on there. You know, like I do a lot better with Instagram because, like I said, I'm getting paid for that right now. But if you make Instagram Reels, like I think you can make like 1,500 a month just doing that too. Where like, but that's if you get like 11 million views. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you could post a bunch of them. You can post like multiple Reels a day and eventually, if you get like on the explore page and get stuff like that too, you'll start getting like brands that's messaging you. He like the hook, man.
Man, it's so funny.
Hey man, somebody got to keep the lights on, bro. So, yep, I'm trying to make them snakes pay for themselves from now on. Like for real, man. Like looking at the clutch I got going on right now, they can literally pay all my bills right now if I need them to. Like if for some reason I decide to go to work on Monday and tell them to fuck off, I would be okay. I just have to be a little bit smarter of how I spend my money because I don't have that cushion every other
Because you don't
Friday
have that.
now
Yep.
to get
Yep.
paid too. And honestly, I think that's what's holding me back from being as successful I am with the snakes too. It's just so I think once I quit my job, I think it's gonna be off to the races. I have a lot more time to be on social media. I have a lot more time for people on Patreon and things like that too. So
Well, I think
and
you
that's
give us a
crazy.
lot of time. I think you definitely have great flexibility with that. We don't get delayed responses and stuff like that as well. So I want to talk about that. And I talked about it with Aussies because I'm only
Mhm.
a member of your Patreon and Aussies, and I was a member of somebody else's. But if it doesn't provide me anything,
Mhm.
it's no point because it is a paid service, right?
Right.
So I think that people frown upon Patreons. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, even now, let's not even talk about Patreon yet. I just said when Keys and them went to a point of being monetized, there's now a member feature. And I think that you really should market that member feature because unless you was doing YouTube just for the fun and not for the monetization
Mhm.
or anything, there's different tiers. There's stuff that I get out of your Patreon, including
Mhm.
apparently big ass discounts on snakes that I didn't even know how big the damn discount was. Okay, and Aussie's Patreon. Aussie's Patreon literally changed the decision I told you about.
Mhm. Yep.
I would not even had been that bold to do it if it wasn't for the knowledge that I have received from his Patreon.
Right.
And I can't even put a value on it. You
Yeah.
know, the discounts from snakes from you, whether it's the jewels you're dropping to us, the links you're sharing. It's so important if you really want to be a successful breeder, like a real one, you know, not just doing it for toy, to find a Patreon that works for you. It's going to be some that doesn't. I am going to say the two that I am, and my bills are paid on time monthly, is this man right here and all these boys. And I feel like that what they charge for their Patreons, I'm getting way more in value. So why do you think that is? Like, why can't people adjust to the fact that Antoine 10 years ago has elevated to Antoine now?
Well, let's tackle the. I want to tackle the why Patreon part first because
Okay.
um I was apprehensive about it at first because I saw people giving Miguel and Justin flack for Patreon. Like
Okay.
I literally made a post when I joined Miguel's and somebody commented on my post. I wouldn't join Miguel's Patreon if you paid me to and blah 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 like that. It's just crazy. And then like when Justin announced his YouTube comments were just nuts. Like I can't believe you're trying to charge people for stuff and things like that too. But what I decided to do is figure out what I wasn't getting from the regular internet, like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, stuff like that too. What am I get? What can I provide that nobody else is doing? You know, because if I'm just regurgitating the same stuff I see in Billy's Patreon and Justin's and Miguel's, then they can just join theirs. You know what I
Right.
mean? So,
Right.
and I also didn't want to be like a bootleg Patreon where I'm just stealing all their content and selling it for cheaper either, because that's some scumbag stuff too, you know. So, that's why I do, like I said, I do like the giveaways for the higher tier to show my appreciation. And I made sure I won't have a Patreon that's not manageable. I refuse to have. I will not have 1,000 people, even if I could make 20 grand a month off of Patreon. I just don't think I don't want to deteriorate from the quality of it from the people who need me. Because if it gets to that point where I have all these people, everybody can't call me or text me, ask me for stuff.
Amen.
You know, there's people on my Patreon, dude. I literally get calls every day from the same couple of people. Hey, I'm thinking about buying this animal. Is it a good quality of it? Is this worth the price? Do you know this person? Can you help me do some research on that? Can you help me vet this person? Like it's a whole process every time for each individual animal they buy, and I'm glad to do it. That's what it's for. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
If that person leaves my Patreon and the comment is, I don't think I got enough out of it, I'm gonna call them out on it and say, yo, hey, kiss my whole asshole. Because I've been
Mhm.
busting my ass for you for your little $50 a month. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I want you to feel like you're getting your money's worth though. You know what I mean? So yeah, and then that's what I like about it too. Like and my access to other people. There's honestly, dude, there's people who use my Patreon to access other people that they normally can't get a hold of. And I'll just be like the conduit for them. And I'm fine with that, you know? Like people go, oh, there's this narrative that Miguel is impossible to get a hold of. there's people that only join my Patreon to get a hold of Miguel. And but I'll be honest, but they didn't hide it. They made no bones about it. They'd be like, hey man, I'll be honest with you. Somebody messaged me and said, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I believe I'm a little further along in this industry than you are, and I honestly think that I have better stuff. No offense, but I'm only joining your Patreon just to be able to get a hold of Miguel. Are you cool with that? I'm like, okay, that's fine.
At least they're honest, right?
They was upfront about it too, and they've like been like my longest running Patreon members too. And I mean, they're probably and honestly, they know who they are, and they're probably watching this right now, and they're probably not even going to be upset about it either, because I told them I was like, hey man, I'm a talk about it all the time, but I'm just not going to use your name. It's like, that's fine, you know.
Right.
Does black light and ivory or bells help at all? I think sometimes when you got multiple genes, you can, but I really just I don't think it's enough, you know, because you're still missing like the hues and stuff from different black lights, and you got to get like full spectrum black lights too. So if you buy like one black light lamp from Harbor Freight, it's not going to work like when you go online and buy expensive $150, $200 one, you know. So yeah, I think it all depends on how many genes you got to play. So like I think somebody just did a Super Mojave Clown, and there's actually pattern on it when you blacklight it.
Yeah, because I'm a cool kid, Tim, just like you are. I attract the cool kids. No, I love can't say everybody, I'm not a liar, but 99% of the people in the hobby, and even the 1% would not know I don't love them.
That's crazy.
But I absolutely enjoy this. And what Antoine said, you know, with the shift in my life, it gets me to do this more and focus on a lot of things that I want to do more. So definitely there's going to be, it won't be another live. I like having one weekly live, but I do want to do something that's a little different, probably one more time a week. Maybe it's like a recorded live with just information from a pet keeper standpoint. I will never, ever, ever claim to be, and the reason why I bring on a lot of intelligent breeders on here is because I'm ignorant to breeding. Other than how to get them to lock. You know, and that's just simply putting a snake in with the other one. My males are whores around here. They locking with anything that I put in. So I don't have that problem. But outside of that, like the questions that I'm asking for the audience and the questions that you guys ask really helps me on the breeding side. Where I'm professional at is the keeping side. So I want to put a little content out there on the keeping side that's, you know, not just the ball pythons, because of course I have so many other animals. So definitely a lot of cool kids come through here, but if you look at to see who's in here, it's definitely the best of the people in the business as well. So I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you.
And this good heart form, like customer service and things like that too, man. I never want to have a purchase from somebody and have buyer's remorse ever. Like, I never want to give anybody my hard-earned money, and that animal gets here, and I'm sitting here like, this is not me. So I don't ever want anybody to feel that way on my end either. Like, when you buy something from me, I want you to like, you know, do the Conor McGregor walk. Like, yeah, I just got this dope ass animal from Antoine. It's eating great. It's looking great. It's bigger than it was advertised, and, you know, stuff like that too. I opened up the box. I got like swag in it. I got stickers. I got postcards.
Yeah.
I got this guarantee. Some people I make custom videos for. Like sometimes you open up a box for me and there'll be like a QR code on there. You scan that and it's a video just for that person that no one will ever see unless you share it too, you know. So like if I know it's your first Desert Ghost visual, or if I know it's your very first clown, or if it's something that I produced myself as a baby and I made eggs on it, I know it's special to me. So I always send random special videos out like that too, that no one can, like, it will never ever be reproduced. It's a one of one thing just for you. You know what I'm saying? So I put the time in production. How are those paranormals? I think double head sunset puzzles you got from Miguel for 12G. Damn, let me put my price up there. How much I pay? Kevin, it was 10,000. I posted on Instagram last night. She's got follicles right now, so they're actually pairing. So she might end up going late this year, or I might have eggs from her towards the end of the year. definitely looked out for me on a few snakes, man. Yeah, man. I got to, man. I gotta, like early on, you gotta establish like a good customer base, man. Like everybody who spends $400 on me comes back later and spends 3,000 with me. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Just because,
so
so it's you want return. Like most of 90% of my customers are return customers. You know what I'm
and
saying?
that's
So
normally what happens if you. That's why I think it's also, and I never asked for any discounts. Like, even with this great discount Antoine apparently gave me, I didn't ask for it. It just happened. And I'm
so
thankful. I'm thankful.
If you hit an enhancer G stripe clown, you can like, and if you decide to hit multiple of them, you can like sell them for whatever you want. To be honest with you, because no one's selling enhancer G stripe clowns. They're not. So think about it like this: there's a male red stripe clown that's double head enhancer G stripe online for like 10 grand. So you know what I'm
Yeah, and when I
saying?
got the snake, one of them, you actually, I bought one. I can't remember which one it was, and then maybe it was the G stripe I bought.
Yeah.
And you said, and here's this one too for this. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you need the male. So
yeah,
I'm like, yeah. So I was like,
but again, you never expressed what Jeremy expressed the other day, and I said to him literally, I'm like, I'm not selling those. They were Antoine snakes. But my husband, y'all, was in the background saying, "Did you hear what he said?" I was like, "No, I can't sell them."
Dude, that's like the Dreamsicle project. I've talked about that on different podcasts too. Like I had a pair trying to hit Dreamsicles for 3 years, and I sold the pair off after missing. And then that next year, he hit 3 of them in the clutch. You know what I mean? So I mean, he got what? Let's see, probably about $9,000 of animals that he spent. I think I sold him that pair for like $800 or something like that. So I mean, it's I enjoy I enjoy, dude, because a lot of times too, man. Yes, put money into these projects too will help you be successful, but luck is a lot too, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Rare Genetics is a company that uses snake sheds to sex snakes.
So
Oh,
that's
that's
like Dr.
interesting.
Seidel.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
That
And
is
I just think too, wouldn't it kind of take some of the fun out of, what I think is going to be the fun part of breeding, if you know exactly what the heck's
that's a smart company to do, but I mean, I guess there's some people. Maybe it's harder for other species to sex. I don't know, but ball pythons, I don't really see sending off a shed for some damn some damn hippie things or not. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I'm not knocking nobody's hustle. If they're making money off it, hey, do you, boo boo? But that's where you send in your
Yeah,
shed
so
and tell you.
everybody started to, that's how far behind I am in the comments. They actually started to respond to that question.
I've never heard of that. That is insane, dude. Like, how much that shit costs? Because I come to your house and do it for you for half of that.
Right.
Shit.
So Mike said, "Will you be at Schaumburg?" I don't know, Mike. I probably could be, but I gotta, like what Antoine said, I gotta be, wise on, my choices of what I do and how much I do. But I'm pretty much free after August 5th. So
yeah, I'm definitely doing Tinley though. So Tinley, I want to.
I'm doing Tinley. That's a given.
I want to come hang out with Mike, man, and shoot the shit with him, man.
And Mike is taking us to dinner, so I'm definitely coming to Tinley. And I gotta go to Big D house to check on my blue ghost. Make sure everything's good over there. He's feeding them and treating them right.
What's Big D's name? His real name?
Derek.
Okay,
Ruiz.
I'm not calling no man Big D. So.
Big D. Oh, AJ.
Sorry. Sorry, Derek. Sorry, Derek, but I will not be referring to you as Big D.
So
ever.
Actually has Big D.
I'm sure he's a lovely fellow. And I'll
D Bolden said, question for speakers, Ultramel or Marnock. I can just tell you, I'm Ultramel from Sick-Witted only. Ultramel from Sick-Witted only. Ultramel from Sick-Witted only. Antoine likes Monarch.
Ew, no, no. Actually, I'm also Team
You
Ultra.
think it's the
Like I said,
same?
so I think they both do different things for different projects, but I can't, to me in my head, justify the price point of the Monarch project and what it does to different genes, vice what Ultramel does. I think it's a to me, it's a better product for what I have. You know what I mean? So that's why I like Ultramel too. And like I said, I work on the Ultramel Batman this year. So and I know somebody else working on the Ultramel Monarch. So I'm trying to hit that before they the Monarch Batman. So I'm trying to hit that before they hit their version so we can kind of compare those two, you know. Yeah, I just think the contrast a little bit different, but if I had to but gun to my head, I'm going with Ultramel all day.
Yeah. From Sick With It. Everybody record it and send it to him. I'm actually getting closer to my baby. My baby has her reserved spot. No other snake can go in there. It's labeled reserved for my Ultramel from Sick With It.
That's funny. Yeah,
Yes.
that's why I got my leopard double head Ultramel clown girl from Jaquendo at Sick With It. So
I always say, like, you come across, like, I think Gershon has some amazing clowns. I think that every breeder has that snake that they breed, and then it just, from that one person looks different from everybody else. His Ultramels, to me, just looks different from everybody else's. I mean, for whatever reason, I don't know why, they just look different. So that's where mine have to come from.
yeah, and then me, like, I don't think nobody's touching my asphalt stuff or my hurricane stuff. I'll put those two genes side by side by anybody, and I can get a better example of a hurricane than yours or an asphalt than yours.
Okay.
So
So
that's
what
how.
does Hurricane go with other than Clown? I know Hurricane and Clown looks really good together. What do you think are, without tapping into what you're trying to, mastermind over there? What do
No,
you think?
so eventually I will have I'm doing the same exact thing with asphalt I'm doing with hurricane. So like with asphalt, I'm doing super asphalt in every main recessive, and I'm doing super hurricane or Hayabusa in every main recessive too. And I
Okay.
got side projects where I'm trying to put them together. So I like it. I obviously like hurricane and clown too. But I want it in G Stripe and Desert Ghost because I wanted some stuff too where we don't see a whole lot of it. So I want to see a hurricane puzzle. No one's doing that yet. So I'm definitely doing that. You know what I mean? Hurricane puzzle, hurricane G Stripe, just to see what the patterns do to disrupt each other. And lots
Okay.
of practice with males. I've seen others pop too. So yeah, I just love it with some brighter stuff too. And I'm actually doing Hurricane and Stranger too next season.
Will's no. Will's no. He spent enough time with me to know that it's ultra mouth. I'm sick with it.
Yeah, yeah. I love Ultramel, man. I got a Cypress head Ultramel girl that she's only being bred to a Ultramel, a visual Ultramel clown. So whether it's a spot nose Ultramel clown or the Batman Ultramel, whatever. Yeah, like she is not doing anything until I hit that. So
So I bought from Aussie a Cypress, and I always, because it's a lot, a Cypress, had hypo, had ultramel, had clown, had pod, and it's another head in there that when I get my two, I want a
uh,
female and a male from Sick With It. That was the whole purpose of getting that Cypress with all those hats.
is that Cypress girl related to the one he just posted? That was like a red stripe hypo Ultramel clown or something like that. Posset Tide or
Um,
something.
this one came out of a clutch probably over 30 days, 45 days ago.
Okay, so I think that's the one that I think it's the clutch mate to the
Okay.
one he posted.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna be crazy. And I'm just doing as much as I can until I get to the point where I hit that 6 gene recessive, and then literally I'm reducing my whole entire breeding clutch to one male and like 20 breeder females, and that's all he's getting bred to every season. So first time of the season he'll get bred to the first 10, and that's it. So but I want it to be a project where you can visually look at it and go, "Oh, I can see all 6 recessives." That's my I call I
Mike
used to
is
be
a
five
fool.
three.
I used to be 5'3". I can't. Oh, that's why I love him. You're 6'3" in your head.
That's
You are a giant.
That's crazy.
Love
Mike
that
is
man.
Mike is wild too.
Oh my
Talking
God,
about
he's
it.
wonderful.
Yup.
Patrick, wait a minute. I gotta stop here. I didn't even. Hey Patrick, I didn't even see you earlier. If I missed you, I can't just bypass you. How are you?
What's happening, Patrick?
How are you? Jeremy Wolfle has a. We talking about extra income. If I was you, Jeremy, that house, that whole house, I don't care what you want to call it, in the backyard, I clean that out and it'll be a whole rat house and you can make a killing in Pennsylvania. Breeding rats and ASFs.
Are you gonna do your own roads too, Nicole, or what?
I did. I started it. The Keys family pushed me to it. I've been doing it from about 4 months, maybe 5 months now. No, I started it right. No, longer than that. I started it right before we went to Tinley.
Okay, rats and mice, or just rats?
No mice, rats, and ASFs. I love them both. It was the worst thing I could have ever done. It's easy for me to feed the babies. I have some larger rats that probably should be fed off now. I can't do it. I just can't do it. They're going to be pets until they die. Then I'll throw them in the bowl, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna get better. Look, Ozzy keeps telling me you're gonna have to get better with losing and separating from animals while you're breeding. And I keep telling him I'm working on it. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, when I move, I'm doing exclusive ASFs, just ASFs, and that's it. So
yeah, and I think that if because I can do ASFs here with no problem. The thing is that I have some animals who just like rats, and then some that will eat both, I think ASFs make snakes better body, build better, ball python specifically. But yeah, and what I would love to be able to breed is rabbits, but my husband would never let that go down. That would never happen.
Yeah, rabbits are weird, man. When you're trying to, those things start struggling, they start doing that.
Dre, I do be running shit until you start talking shit, and then I just let you be. Oh, that's cool. Replicated said he's in San Diego, so you gotta go to Bigger Pockets. Look it up. It's no reason not to. It's no reason not to. And you guys gonna hear a whole lot about that coming soon. Jeremy, thank you. It's because of all y'all support and everybody sharing and all the love. I appreciate everybody who just pretty much, took this girl and just loved on her and helped build me up. And the Antoines and all the people who
are you one of the moderators in the bro group on Facebook?
I used to be a admin. I retired my job as admin for reasons not to be discussed. A few months ago.
See, there's like 8,000 people in that group, man. So we can definitely, at least even just on that group, we can push more subs for there. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. So what we used to do, and we did it all the time. And even right now, there's plenty of people on my personal page from the group who are their family. They're very supportive. Reggie, everybody. Everybody shows mad love still. It became a family out, and it's still my family outside the family. Right. I just, like I said, I'm no longer in the group. I chose to leave the group. Dre, shut up wherever you are, because I know he over there talking crap. But even when I was in the group, not just for us, one of my things about the group is that you're right. It's 8,000 members, but do you know that most of my support are not from the group? And I don't. And it's funny that sometimes you have the same people who are on your Facebook page. I think me and Keys was talking about that, but just won't subscribe. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with me. Like I can look and like when you go through your desktop and see like your subscribers and stuff like that too, and maybe out of that 8,000, I might have 500 from that group on there.
Right. So, and there are people that you interact with probably personally, on one way or the other as well. But that's any social media group, like even on my personal page, even Instagram. One of my posts later on is going to just simply be, if you're following me here, please follow me there.
Well, my biggest support has always been from strangers, not people I know.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Now, I will say that changed for me. My family, like, even though they used to think I was weird as hell growing up, like, their support right now, since I've been doing the podcast, is amazing. Amazing. But you still have that group of friends that you'll tap it on the Facebook page, but don't tap on the YouTube page. I don't care about the Facebook page. If you tap into the YouTube page, that really supports me even more in the way that I need to be supported. Love you guys.
Yeah, I was like a lot of people, personally too, to me, the saddest thing I learned about becoming a public figure is that people that you're quote unquote peers with and stuff like that too, a lot of times they want you to do well, just not better than them. Tell me I'm lying.
Yeah, but what? That's why I love about the usual suspects. We support each other, and anything that one is on, the other one supports and shares and stuff like that. And what I told Keys is, one of the things I love about Hair Down, it's not about us, because I don't even have to be on the screen, right? And a lot of times I'm not. I love the fact that that platform allows people, like somebody asked last night, hey, how do I get on the screen? People who no one knows. And Keys is not like, no, I don't know, you stay over there. It's like, come on in and let people use the platform to get to where they need to go. And that's what this community should be about, because we're already the oddballs of the world.
Right. And the key, right. And to me, a lot of people ask about, okay, well, what's the key to getting your face out there too? People who jump in and comment on lives, people who jump in and comment and like people's Instagram posts and that too, staying active. Like a lot of people I learn about is from the comment section. Like most of the time too, like everybody that's on here, if I'm not following you, like send me a message and be like, you know what I mean? Hey, I'm just watching the show. I'll follow you. Like I don't do like the whole I need to keep my followers so the people I'm following count different and stuff like that. Dude, no, I'll follow probably like 5,000 people or something like that. You know what I mean? Albeit most of them are like IG models and shit, but that's beside the point. But so I got no problem following people. You know what I mean? So that's always been weird to me.
Well, you do it too. Like I remember the first time Chris reached out to me, and I know it was through you. Snake in the Fat Man. He said, "Are you producing animals yet?" I'm like, "No, I have a bunch of animals, but no, eggs." And he said, "When you produce, please, reach back out to me. I would like to bring you on the show." And that's another benefit of the Patreon, the connections, the Tinleys. Like that, I honestly believe that table that we had at Tinley, we became family. All of those people to this day, we're very close, and it started there.
That was the whole Patreon click right there too.
It was awesome, but there's some people who was at the table that I didn't even know was in the Patreon. Who, there's people in the Patreon who are active every day. There were people who I didn't even know were in the Patreon, and that was just like it was love.
It's
that
a bonus,
to me made Tinley. That Saturday was awesome as well. So I appreciate it, and I think again, if the Patreon for me is not doing those things, building first, sharing the animals I love, giving me, and I'm not talking about financial benefits. I don't necessarily need that, but giving me the benefit of connections that's going to help me with knowledge, growth. When I do create eggs, even down to sending y'all pictures in a group, and the people in the Patreon just saying, yeah, no follicles, yeah, there's follicles.
Yeah, I do. I like how we will attack like morph IDs and stuff too. They're like, hey, what do you think this is? That's after I give you shit about about waiting till the animal sheds and stop sending me pictures of it still in the egg and stuff like that. And
but
then like
even that teaches me, because it's more experienced people in it. So when you're like, guess the ID and that stuff like that is intriguing and fun for me, but you're learning at the same time. That is the value for me of these different Patreons. Like, it's so many intelligent people. Some breeders are not all out there on the forefront, and they have so much knowledge, but in the Patreon, they're very verbal.
And then I think, and then for how I do like the every 90-day thing for like the $50 tier. We're doing something cool for September, but for the end of the year, for the big one, I'm gonna give away a Desert Ghost Het Clown female for the giveaway one too. So I think that's something I wanted to announce it like later on this week, but since I'm on your platform, I'll do that too. So
this might be a good time to join the Patreon, because you're gonna be there for 30 days. Right?
So I'm gonna keep 90. You have to do it for 90 days. Yep.
You'll be late if you wait another month.
Yep. If you wait another month, it's too late. So, but I got something cool going on. So for September. So I think for the September giveaway, I think I'm gonna do either a visual clown, het desert ghost male, or the other way around. So
Right.
he'll get more out of it if he was in the States. Uh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Billy.
I
You got
still
it.
I'm still part of Billy's too, man. And then like just being part of his Patreon, like I get some crazy hookups too, man. So like I'll never leave Billy's. So I'll be part of Billy's forever, you know. Like he's hooked me up with some things that he didn't have to at all. He just like, hey man, take these animals and just think about this thing real. I was like, what the fuck, dude? You know what I mean? So
And
and
your
Billy
Billy voice.
and Billy and honestly, Billy's one of the main reasons why I am where I'm at today too, because like he essentially like started pushing my channel and pushing my Instagram and like gave me the tools I needed to run with it too. So like I'll always be part of Billy's, man. And Billy is cool like that too. Like I think Billy was the start of like of of influencers and the big breeders who helped push everybody else's brand out there, even though he didn't have to. So like to me, that's like other than his dope snakes, that's Billy's biggest quality, man. Like he has no problems like sharing the sunlight with everybody else, you know.
Yeah.
So big up to Billy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was laughing. Jeremy had Austin on his show last week, and my daughter is hardly ever looking at this stuff. And oh my gosh, she fell in love. Fell in love with Austin. It was too funny. I guess because he's a little boy, I never even found him attractive. She over here drooling.
how how old is your daughter?
She's 27.
Yeah, Austin is 24, I think, or something like that.
Okay,
24, 20,
okay,
20 24,
okay,
25. Yeah, man. Austin
okay.
got yeah, Austin doing his thing, man. Like he's gonna be like the big name by himself as a separate entity in the next couple of years too, man.
Well,
So
he's
like,
well respected. Like,
yep, he
even
is.
before I really knew who Billy was like that, I knew
Hmm.
who Austin was.
Yeah, Austin's a beast, man.
Yeah.
So
Hey, Keisha. I still gotta reach out to Keisha. Keisha, I need Keisha in September, so I'm gonna still reach out to you, Keisha. And I did order the vitamin. I did order the Da Vinci Boa. Have you ever used it, Antoine?
but before I get into that, I'm gonna tell you something about Keisha real quick,
Okay.
yo. That a lot of people don't
Oh.
that a lot of people don't know about Keisha. Y'all ready for this? She is gonna be a problem like real soon. Like the stuff she's working with, her like mind as far as like doing her breeding projects and just like the goals she has and the connections that she's making. Like Keisha, I'm telling y'all right now, if you're not following her on IG, if you're not subscribed to her channel, that's the train you want to get on now early before she get too big time for your old broke asses. No, no, but
Yes,
yeah,
what May
yeah,
calls
Keisha.
her the silent
Yeah,
assassin.
legit. Keisha's one of my favorite breeders and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Like she knows what she wants out of her projects, and there's no fluff in her breeding program. You know what I'm saying? Like so, big up to Keisha, mad respect. That's the fam right there. So that's
Awesome.
that is a if you're not following her, you're fucking nuts. That's a sleeper right there. So that'd
Yeah.
be $25, Keisha. Send that to my Venmo.
Send it through Sal, Keisha.
$25. You know the PayPal now, play. uh,
All
so
right. So Da
fucking
Vinci Boa. Have you ever used it? Tried it? Opinion.
Da Vinci Boa, I use it and it's been successful for me probably like 90% of the time too.
Oh, okay.
So like I use that if I have females that hit the quote unquote 1,000 gram wall or whatever, they go off of food. I switch over to food first. I'll try mice or ASFs, and most of the time that'll do the trick. But if they don't do either one of those, I hit them up with some Da Vinci, give them about 2 weeks, try again, and at the worst, it'll take 2 tries after the Da Vinci, and then they'll be back on food too. And the only times where like the female or whoever didn't go back on food after the Da Vinci because there was some underlying stuff going on with them where I realized like they had like some like gut bacteria issues and they were off of food because they were trying to like there was something going on in their system internally. So
Okay.
um Yeah, I think yeah, so Da Vinci, I recommend it. I think it works. I think a lot of times it's the B vitamin complex stuff that's in it that kind of gets the appetite going. But that's for
Okay.
anything though. Like I used to breed dogs, and whenever they had appetite issues, I hit them up with like B complex vitamins, like an injectable or by mouth, and then they're back to getting their appetite up again too. So I think that's one of the big things of that product. So people have their opinions. I know people who say it absolutely sucks. It doesn't work for them. I mean, it works for me, so I enjoy it. But I also, before I resort to Da Vinci, I have a bunch of other processes that I do before I get to that point. So
And is that like moving them in different racks, changing substrate?
yeah, change the substrate out. My males, I used to have problems with breeding with males that were breeding that would go off of food, but that's super rare with my collection now because now I have a whole new process with breeding males. Like once I separate from the female, I give them a rat pup. So instead of eating like one meal a weekend with everybody else, they might have like 3 or 4 rat pups throughout the week, and then they'll keep eating like that. So, yo, what up, Chris? Yeah. So
What
once
is
I
the
started doing that,
longest?
I call it dog treating them. So like the male, once they separate from the female, put them up. It's like, hey, good job, boy. Good luck with that girl. Here's a rat pup. And now throughout my breeding season, most of my males actually gain weight now. So
What is the longest you had a snake off food?
9 months.
Male or female?
Male with 9 months did I eat. There are some males that I had that they didn't eat the whole time I had them. I've never actually witnessed them eat early on too. And then there was males early on that I killed because I was like, okay, I need to do this one last lock. I know he ain't eating, but he don't seem too skinny, not losing weight. Boom, lock, put him up in the tub. Next day, dead as a doornail. So you can definitely breed your animals to death. It's a thing.
Ozzy says that all the time. Be careful, because I think like I have a snake now because he locked, and then I think he just still want to keep breeding, but I need him to eat.
Yeah, if he's not,
Um,
yep. If he and then that's why it's important to have backup males too for reasons like that. Is you know what I mean. So, but if I have one that goes off of food, I'm like, okay, taking the break, make sure see what's going on with you. You know what I mean, and maybe just breed happy. I'll move you to a different rack spot. I have a whole little process I go through too. And but now since I've been doing this past season with this what I call it the puppy treat method or whatever, they've been fine. So
okay.
my biggest problem guy has been the clown pie last year. He was just like, "Oh, you got me here breeding, fuck food," and then he just like go. But once I got him eating, once I gave him like a big 3 4 month break from breeding, I started just slowly putting him back on rat pups. Now, so even weighing him out, you know what I mean? Like he'll do enough rat pups where it's almost the equivalent of like one medium rat over like a 2 3 week period. So
Got you. All right, so let's just make sure because we're now. I mean, I know your time is precious, and I'm gonna get it all, but I just want to make sure there's no more questions. So let's see.
dude, we
Maine,
got
thank you for the love. Maine, I from day one. So, like he just said about Keisha, before I blow all up on YouTube, Maine was one of my day ones. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can't wait to
make
get
sure,
Keisha on. She was
dude,
the
make sure.
first female that I heard of. Like first of all, I didn't see her face for a while because I had to, seek her out. But I heard Reggie talk about her. Maine was the first one. In his videos, he would always talk about this girl, Keisha. And then one day, all of y'all took a trip and it was a
Oh,
picture.
oh, yeah, that's all it
And
took,
I'm
trip.
like,
Yeah.
oh, that's her. But
He should
I
be
got
he
to
should be
hear her
hiding. He
talk.
should be he should be hiding like she ugly and shit. He should be hiding.
I was like, I love her accent. So I was watching a live the other day.
uh,
Just to hear her talk. Like I love a southern accent on anybody. But hers is deep, deep, deep south. It is just cool to hear because people like that Dre always talk about my accent. I don't hear it. So I hear southern
oh,
accents all the
I
time.
definitely do.
I don't hear it. And Dre will be ignorant with all my words. And
oh
he'll
man,
type in how he thinks I sound.
I know you. I know you was having a blast February 22nd, wasn't you? You was like, it's TT 2022. Oh shit.
It's still 2022.
Your husband gonna kick my ass. Let me shut up.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's so chill. He actually, has a whole lot of love and respect for you. I mean, he is one of them people. I tell people, you know, if he don't feel you, because he don't say another word. So I think it was Reggie who said he met him on Friday. By Saturday, he was a whole different person. I said, yeah, because he felt you. Because if he don't feel you, I'm the outgoing one. He's the standoffish one. But yeah, he loves what I'm doing. Like even in my decision making recently, he's so excited and happy for me, so proud. Like a husband sees everything that you do.
Dude, it's nothing like support from your spouse, man. Like that's even if he never ever touched the snake or never ever went anywhere near him, the fact that he's willing like to build stuff for you and and even go with you on these trips too and stuff. Like I know that's not his scene. You know what I'm saying? I know that ain't his scene. You can tell in the man's face it's not his scene at all. You know what I mean? But he loves you and he's there to support you too, and that's more valuable than anything else. You know what I'm saying? So I know you're appreciative of that. So if he can hear me in the background right now, man, just know that
he's going to pick up the grandkids. He might be listening in the car, but he's definitely
you know what I mean. Like we all see that. We all see your support for her, man, and that's just dope, man. Because it's so many relationships out there with reptile breeders that's just barely hanging on by a thread because like. I'm telling you, man. Like I know there's husbands and stuff too, and because especially with women in the reptile industry, it's always weird too because you got to think about like there's always some guy out there probably trying to bang you and stuff too, and or like might come in your comments kind of funny and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? And it can't separate between like treating you as a breeder and a professional separate from everything else too. And it's real. I mean, I get that a lot too. I get like a lot of DMs about weird shit, like guys and girls, like, "Hey, so you seen anybody lately?" And just like weird shit like that. It's fun. It's hilarious too, man. But and especially like at these shows, like the after parties and the shows, sometimes people get weird and wild like that too. And it's just crazy, man. But it's a balance though. You got to be able to balance that, being a professional and having a good time. You know what I mean? Like a one-trick pony in any industry isn't right too. So yeah, you could be that guy that's killing it, but have a shit personality and never talk to people and never be personable. But I think those people are going away, man. Like those guys who don't deal with anybody, who just are those hermits, are going to fall by the wayside. Like, because I think when I sell something, I'm selling myself, not my product too. You know what I mean? So like when I'm selling, when people get stuff from me, you can buy an inchy head clown anywhere, any damn where. Like, my budget is $250. I need a female baby inchy head clown. You can go to anybody on there and find 1,000 inchy head clowns, but when you get it from me, you're getting a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like you're getting somebody who like talks you on the phone. Everybody I'll buy a snake from, like as of like this year, I make a phone call with them and actually let them know what's going on with the animal, where I'm coming from, and you can hear the sincerity in my voice because I believe in my product. And it's a lot different from like just typing stuff. You know what I mean? Because when you type stuff and send text and emails, sometimes you miss a lot of the context when you communicate with people. So that's why I have to call you to make a sale with you now.
And that's like, again, it comes back to people buy from people, and that's in any business. I always say that when, in property management, I would tell my team all the time, you can have all the skill you want. If you don't build rapport, people are not going to, they can go down the street to the person who greeted them and buy the shit apartment compared to you just being antisocial with the luxury apartment. And that is just the honest to God truth. People only going to buy from people that they trust and literally think that will support them going through things. So absolutely. All right. So we got through. I said I want to talk about Antoine. Anything else you want to cover before I let you go back to your life, since I had you for 2 hours and 15 minutes so far?
Is this like your longest one so far or no? Because I be talking.
No.
I'll be running my damn mouth.
It was 2 hours and 30 minutes. I think it's when we was talking about the mental health one. I think that one might have been one of the longest ones.
Okay.
Because we all crazy, I guess. No.
Yeah. Well, that's something a lot of people don't talk about because that's something I struggle with too, Because like
we
it's
all
all
do,
we all do. Yeah, like I mean, there's almost 2 legit times I almost called it a day. You know what I mean?
I'm telling
so,
you, we all
so,
do different levels. Like I said
mm-hmm.
before, just because you never got all the way there.
Yep.
Like I can tell you, my husband will come and he can write a board of all of my mental illnesses. Like he loves them anyway, but he would tell you, and he sees me, and I always tell people that's why I love him so much. He sees the worst of me.
Mm-hmm.
With no other, no other people. But Dre, you think you get it bad. He sees the worst of me, and that man loves me anyhow. And nobody else is just going to pick up and be able to deal with that. And that's truly what love is anyway. You got to love the whole person, even in that crazy. But we all have something that drew us to animals, and is a great percentage of it that is mental, or we deal with somebody else who has some type of mental or social disability, one or the other. And that's how we got caught up in animals. It's just the reality of it. And that's why support USR, and we can't lose our animals, because for a lot of us, we will go into some type of horrible psychosis.
Yeah, and a lot of people just suck ass, man. It is like some people just terrible people. Like whether they don't have the social skills to maintain relationships or hold conversations or other too. So for me, I've always been an animal person because animals don't judge you, man. Like at all. You know what I mean? Like I got 2 dogs in there right now, right? Hanzo is the youngest dog. He's a pit bull. Awesome animal too. The way I know that he feels about me, my job is to get to the point where there's humans that think the same way about me. If you could be as awesome as your dog thinks you are, you a bad motherfucker. So that's what I do. So that's what I try to strive to be, man. You know what I mean? So like I saw that saying like a long time ago, was like, man, be as awesome as your dog think you are. I was like, fuck, I got this, man. Because like there's so many times in my life where I met my heroes and they were just fucking, they were not what they cracked up to be, whether it was sports athletes or professional wrestlers or actors and movie stars and things like that too. And I very rarely ask for autographs and pictures or anything like that too, even as a kid. But I've been snubbed by like pro ball players that I had posters on my wall. You know what I mean? So I never want to have anybody have that disappointing experience with me. So even at my most tiredest and my most aggravated point at a show, I'm ready to go home. I always got time to talk to people. So when you see him at a show, I don't never want to see a message a week later going, yeah, man, I saw you talking to Brian Cusco and I really didn't want to interrupt, so I walked away. No, man, I talk to Brian all the time. Fuck him. Come talk to me. You know what I mean? Come hang out, especially if I've never met you before. Let me know who you are. Let's get some pictures and stuff too. And let's hang out, because that's the only reason why I come to these shows for the most part, man. Just to see the people I see online and interact with and tell shitty jokes to on a regular basis. You know what I mean? So do not ever be like, oh man, I saw Antoine, but he looked mean. No, man, I was probably focused on something in my own head about some bullshit breeding I forgot to do. Something like that. You know what I'm saying?
That was one of my questions. You answered it earlier. I don't think I've ever saw you. I saw you like focused, but never
like
in a bad mood. So it's interesting I would love, well, I don't want to see what it looks like in a bad mood. I don't want you coming to my house to get your snake back and stuff like that. I can fight, but I can't fight that good.
Dude, like I teach martial arts to children, man. Like you got to be able to turn it on and off too. Like if I have a horrible day at work and I come to teach a bunch of 8-year-olds some Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I can't be like showing my best product if I'm dragging ass at work all day. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta learn. You gotta learn to put that stuff away, man. Too. So, like I said, like the whole. You probably, if you watch me on any podcast, you probably heard me talk about the McDonald's concept of how they're not trying to sell you a hamburger; they're trying to sell you on a lifetime of hamburgers. So you always have to make that good first impression. So just like how Bert Kreischer in his comedy, when he does 4 shows a night, he says he gives max energy all 4 shows, because in that last show, there might be somebody that got drugged out there by their boyfriend, their girlfriend, or their friend that never even heard of you. And all of a sudden, their first impression is you killing it, not just sliding through the jokes and kind of sort of making people laugh. So I always like to be like that, man. Like I always want that first impression of me is what you is. Like if you had a positive outlook about me before you met me, I wanted to exceed those expectations when we meet in person. And it's not me trying to be phony or me trying hard. That's just how I am, man. Because I want I want everybody to be successful in this industry because that money moves around with us and stuff too, man. When we're all being successful, that's why there's so many successful
Right?
breeders right now than there were before, because there was so many people back in the day keeping their secrets from each other and not helping each other succeed. And there was just a
Yep.
handful of people to buy from. But now somebody along the way realized that, hey, when I become successful and I help you become successful, we all can be successful. So I sound like a
Absolutely.
damn. I sound like a quote from a movie. If I could change, then you could change.
That's right. But it's real, and I think that I can tell you that a lot of us spend so much time in this community and to separate from the buttholes of the world. I love coming here. Keys to tell you, I always say this chat is my happy place. We ain't talking about anything else unless it makes me happy. So I wanted to I do not want to forget 6:00 p.m. tonight. And if I'm messing up the time, Keisha, type it in. Keisha and Angie from Celtic Balls is going to be doing a all women's view discussion, and it's going to be Angie's first live tonight at 6:00 p.m. So please subscribe to Celtic Balls. Go check that out. At 5:00, Hank, if I'm messing up, because I told Antoine, I don't do Central Mountain and all of that. I only know Eastern. I believe it'll be 6:00 Central, but 5:00 Eastern Standard Time. I'll be on Big Tank Hank show, and I'm very excited about that because that energy is gonna be off the damn wall.
Yeah, hey Keisha, send me the link to your show,
Yes.
and then you send me the link. Hey, you post yours in the Patreon group chat too, so make sure we all watch it too.
Definitely would do that. So Antoine, I just want to say this was a long time coming, and again, I'm very strategic of how I do these things. So I know
I ain't gonna lie, man. I felt the type of way early on when you didn't when I knew you had a show and you didn't ask me to go on your show. I'm like, what am I, fucking chopped liver or something? Like
no. Like I try to kind of mix it up with what I call. I know you don't think you are a celebrity, but in the right of what we're doing, the superstars, and then there's a whole lot of people who are just doing their thing on a down low that needs that exposure and needs to be confident. And I try to be an influencer, and I want to be an influencer in the reptile community. So even those quiet people, like the girl that I'm having on July 30th, she does Dino buddies, and she literally has a bunch of animals that she takes around her children, expose them to, teach them, educate them, do books, all of that. But she's in the group, actually. She's in the bro group. But if you don't know, you would not know. And I can't wait to have her on here. So there's so many people on different levels. So I try to mix it up. And I want different topics, because like you said, most of the people in here are breeders, but there's so much other stuff that goes into it to just not breeding. So there's a business aspect. And there's a lot of y'all who are successful and y'all were regular, you are regular people. And people need to see that as well. So I try to put like the powerhouse people in between all of that. And you are a powerhouse person to me. That is why I pay to be in your Patreon. I pay to be in your Patreon because it's value to me, more valuable than I can explain.
I appreciate it, man.
Especially as a new breeder, I felt like you looked out for me even when you asked questions. What were my plans and helping me get the right animals, for that plan. You didn't tell me how much more I could have been getting. Jeremy told me that, but that's okay. I know. I know now. But yeah, so I'm just so grateful. So Keith said it's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Celtic Balls, Keisha and Angie. That's 7 p.m. And Hank, I hope I got it right. Me and Hank is 5 p.m. But I'm going to show up 5 p.m. Hank. If not, then I know I'll come back. But I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Antoine, thank you. Or this doesn't, we talk all the time. And
this is real fun, man. It's not even, to me, these don't even seem like podcasts or lives. It's just homies just talking to each other. You know what I mean?
And
so
that's how it should be.
Yep.
That's how it should be. And everybody, like, again, the love in the chat, the people who came through that say hi and couldn't stay, that's all good. Just support and love is what this is all about. Like Antoine said something, too, that I just want to say before we leave. If you blow up, I blow up. And it's okay to spread the love. I might create a snake that may be very,
Mhm.
very expensive, but because we blew up together, it's a
Yes.
discount or given to you.
So
So
man, so
just keep showing the love.
support is free, man. Support is
That's
free,
right.
man.
It don't
As long
cost
as
you
it's
nothing.
as long as it's reciprocated, though. You know what I mean? So
Thank you.
F
Thank
and
you.
A,
Thank you.
man. Mike, what up, man? I can't wait to
Yeah,
get on.
Mike is
I can't wait to get on Mike's show. I've been ducking him.
Mike has been a
My
supporter
schedule's been
even
crazy.
before that I knew he ever had a thought to bring. Mike is the reason I did the whole video and everything at Nerd. Mike told me
Hmm.
I better, when I go there, I had to shout out the bro group was his one thing and get all the footage. So I told my husband, and I didn't even know who Mike was like that. And I kept saying it was two Mikes, Mike Lamp and Mike Young and Mike Johnson. It was three. I said, I can't remember which Mike it was. And it was our Mike. And look where
Yep.
we are. We were nasty to each other when we first got, our introduction. When he got in my inbox and I was like, get the hell out of my inbox. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have the connection to such an awesome person like Mike.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. And the love is real for real.
Mike is that dude, man. So
Yeah. And Mike be hiding the fire, y'all. I be trying to get him to expose it, like get you a little sneak peek. But he ain't even giving us the real. Mike be having the fire. I cannot believe he claims he been breeding for only 2 years. I think he had animals before that.
KG or D or both, I appreciate you for watching, man. That's the family right there. Bomb projects all day.
Yeah. So he has this carpet python, Jeremy. So the day that I went to his house, I was supposed to hold it. She was on fire. And the one below her, Antoine, was like, I wish on a million stars a bitch would try to touch me. He was sitting there like, yeah, come on, do it. So we'll try again later on down the road, Jeremy. But that wasn't either one of that nice for me to pick up a carpet. I can tell that. I'm a retic girl, and I promise you, retics are not like carpet pythons. They're a whole lot kinder. A whole
I
lot
don't know. So
kinder.
I don't know. It all depends on the animal, man, because sometimes they can be ridiculous.
That's why you think she's that's my with the ridiculous word. I love it.
I
I
gotta go,
love
man.
it. I love it. Like, because she's ridiculous. I love that word.
Oh
And
man.
I'll put that on my damn shirt. I told somebody that. That is gonna be on my shirt. But all right, guys, that's it. I think it's 7 p.m. for you, Nicole. No, it can't be. It can't be. It can't be. I'll check. I'll double check. All right. Peace. Thank
Take
you,
it easy, guys.
Antoine.
No doubt.
All right. Bye bye, everyone. Bye, Jeremy. Jeremy and Jeremy. Bye.